Technical difficulties. Hang tight, folks. Everything is not working. I'm glad you guys can see the live stream starting soon button, though. Not enough edibles. No edibles yet. This one will last. I'm not taking this one down. I'm just trying to figure out how to monetize it. YouTube's not making it easy today, folks. Just hang in there. Leave a voicemail. Hello, everybody. Glad you can hear me. The problem... Well... Here we go. No, that's not it. I'm like the grandfather who uses AOL.com for the first time. Well, what's the router? Get the maple syrup, Bruce. If you encourage me to move faster, it will slow my computer down. Trust me, this is detrimental to the success of my channel when this stuff happens. What a bummer. Get that coin. I can't get that coin. I can't get anything to work. Very disappointed. I don't know what's going on. But you guys can hear me, which means we can start. Hello, Sophia. Yeah, please. I mean, be patient or don't be patient. It's fine either way. I guess we can get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, is my screen even on? Let's see. Let's see if we get this screen to work here. 1 second. There it is, folks. Feels a little dark in here, though, doesn't it? Let me turn some lights on. I got all the lights on. So what? Hello, folks. You know, you have everything lined up and ready to go, and then you go to press the shiny red button, and nothing's working right now. Nothing's working. How's everyone doing out there? Dave has not left the building. No, I am here. Hello, folks. Hello. Good to see everybody. The problem is I get if I don't have the right thumbnail up, then the click-through rate is going to be dreadfully terrible, which means nobody's going to watch the chat, which means it's a total waste of all of our times. But I think we're going to figure this out. Very delayed system right now. I mean, you know, I'd shut my computer off and restart if I thought that would help, but honestly, I don't think that's going to help right now. This just seems to happen. I've got all of my other systems shut down here, and it says I've got 3 people watching. We know that can't be right. 59 people are watching. Hello, folks. Good to see all of you guys. Just trying to figure out some loose ends right now. Some issues with the live stream. We'll figure it out as quick as possible. If you just hang with me, I will give you some extra love tonight. If you can just hold your horses, hit that like button, and just give me a few minutes. See, what happens is I get the stream going, and it uses all the processing power on my very expensive computer. And then when I try to do some back-end work, nothing shows up. So it actually says the video I was trying to look at is removed from the uploader, which is me. So that can't be the case. Let me know how you guys are doing. Yeah, it just very unfortunately brings me into the wrong mindset. Can we blame Greg for this technical problem? Greg, what are you doing? So, error loading the settings. So this might actually be a problem that YouTube's having. Recap live stream. No, I did that one earlier. Good music, though. All right. Live stream ended 7 minutes ago. Okay, that was the earlier live stream. Now I've got a functional live stream right now. You know what? I guess we're just not going to be monetized. But the problem's less the monetization and more that people are not going to click on this thumbnail, because right now I don't have anything set up. So we'll figure this out. It's just going to take a while. You guys know how that sometimes we just don't figure it out. Sometimes it just doesn't work and we call it a wash. I tell you what though, made so many videos today. Maybe my computer's just striking. Are we getting a strike from my computer today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the 9th video of the day, folks. 9th video of the day. There's a very specific button I press to turn on the monetization, and it's just not going to happen. It's not showing up. Somehow you guys see me, though. Did my computer catch a bug from Belize? Yeah, I've got the Belizean flu right down here happening. I think it's a YouTube issue right now. Sophia, excuse me. What if I died? Dash, I'm dying in here. I'm dying in here. Sophia is sober for once, she says, which is very nice. We appreciate your sobriety or lack thereof, really. Whatever you want to do, go for it. Oh, there we go. Still don't have any of the answers I'm looking for on here. I wonder, if Tasha, I wonder if I could sign on her computer. Hey, Tasha. I'm going to try to do this. No, maybe I can do it from my phone. That's how much bandwidth I'm using. So, here we go. Live. So, I've got a live stream happening. All right, here we go. It looks like it's public and the monetization is off. So, let's do this. I can at least... All right, I can fix this on my phone. Oh, it's so much faster doing this on my phone. So, the monetization is now turned on my phone. But you know what I need to do now is I need to... Give me a second here. I know what Ladies and gentlemen, I know what I need to do. I need to send the thumbnail... If I can send the thumbnail... Now, hold on, folks. Oh, I bet you the other good power recappers don't do this. I might be limiting my my power recap name. I don't think in good... and I made this really nice little thumbnail here. I just don't think in good faith I can call myself a power recapper after tonight's mishap right here. But if you guys will just give me... I think I can have this resolved. Oh, wait, does this... This literally doesn't say anything. It literally just says, like... Oh, no wonder nobody's watching this. You have to say the live stream, what it's all about. Oh, we have 112 people. All right, so just hang out, folks. Talk amongst yourself. Do me a solid, and we're just going to get this going. We're having a major snafu, as they call it. See, it's just called a live... I mean, this is real garbage. Stuff happening here. I guess we'll save that. Let's see what happens. Yeah, hit the like. Everyone hit the like for several people today. So, this live stream... Is this the right one? All right, let's see. Let's put a thumbnail on this live stream here. I mean, look, there's literally nothing... I'm going to have to call this Bachelorette Hometowns Katie Thurston. What the heck just happened? After episode live stream. Wouldn't it be funny if the lack of... if the lack of all of this razzmatazz is what made the video actually do well? I don't believe that's going to be the case. And then let's see if I can adjust the thumbnail, custom thumbnail. Hold on one second, folks. I know I'm talking my way through this. It must be so obnoxious. I have nightmares when stuff like this happens. Allow access to all your photos. I mean, a real nightmare situation. I couldn't wish this upon anybody. I'm doing it, to do this from my phone is garbage. Let's call this Bachelorette Recap, Katie Thurston, Hometown, a live stream, after episode chat. All right, you know what? There it is. Let's see. I apologize for all the extra time that just took, folks. Let's see. We're saving the changes. We've got some people in the chat, 130 of you guys. Thank you for waiting for me. Now, but did I just do that to the wrong one? This is what's going to make me lose my mind. I might have just done that to the wrong one. Holy crap. Let's see if this is the one playing right now. I'm losing my dang mind. I'm losing your mind? What about my mind? Now, it says this was streamed 11 minutes ago. Tasha, can you give me a water? And a hose? Can you hose me down? Franny, how are you? I'm just melting down on my end, guys. I had so much I wanted to say here. I can't, in good faith, continue this conversation until I fix the problem. Let's see if it's resolved on YouTube's side. I feel like this happened a couple months ago, maybe? This music's great for it. What if... Will you say a prayer for my computer? I don't know what's going on here. I can't get anything to work. I actually might have to restart this. could you possibly? All right, the video was removed, so that one's gone. I'm in full-blown panic mode, guys. Because I already tried that, and it's YouTube that's the problem. I have not had an edible or a drink, folks. This is water. I guess we're just gonna operate on a loss tonight. God damn. Yeah, what a strange problem that was. None of these, so basically, just to let you guys know what's happening, I'm gonna skip right to the most recent comments, and I'm sure you guys are like, Dave, what the hell's going on? Nobody cares, but trust me, we just can't continue on until I get this fixed. I am operating without any sort of information that this live stream's actually working. It's not monetized. There's no thumbnail, and there might not even be a title for it, to be completely honest. So Sarah says everything's good except the thumbnail. Okay, well, I guess if everything's good except the thumbnail, we can live with that. The loyal people know where to find us. Yeah, Linen Shirt Dave's getting a little fogged up right now, folks. You know, I'm just looking at my my system right here. I'm just Hometowns recap. No, that's for later. I already uploaded the recap, and then that's not the right one. 14 minutes ago. And the other problem is that it's not monetized. And there's just no way to monetize this. That's a 4-second recap. All right, folks. All right, I'm glad you guys have a title. So I guess I'm just not monetized, which again, these videos don't make much money. We have 65 people here. Woo, boy. So I don't want to let you guys down. The thumbnail is your profile header. Well, thank you for letting me know that. Okay, look, it just showed up. Okay, so YouTube's coming back, folks. I'm going to give you guys the best post-episode live stream. You better believe. If you need to use a bathroom, now is the time to do it. I am going to make up for lost time, folks. I'm going to give it to you good and hard. Passionately recap the hell out of this live stream. Just give me a minute. It's buffering. It's going slow, but it has showed up. I'm going to change the thumbnail for some stragglers. Trina says, just carry on or you will lose everyone who wants to watch. Trina, I appreciate that, but listen, Daddy's got to hit the button that monetizes this thing, or else, you know, I'm just not going to be focused. All right, folks? Oh, Jess, you're so kind. Oh, thank you so much. What if that was my plan all along? Yeah, I was just trying to get Jess to donate. Now, thank you so much, Jess. We found the glitch in the system, and we are getting ready to go. We will be ready. Oh, look, I just hit the button. We're monetized. I'm going to talk my way through turning that thumbnail into the right thing, and then we're good. Are you guys ready to get this party going? Trina, we're carrying on, baby. All right, leave a voicemail. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. I think we know. I think we all watched that, right? That hot mess. Who's here to defend Greg? I was going to call him Chris. This is the instrument I used to play, baritone sax. Oh, what? Oh, Sarah, what are you doing? You don't have to do that. Oh my gosh. Sarah just donated. You gotta dance for 100. You guys are... Oliver's high AF. Hey, Sarah, thank you so much. Let me make sure I post you up there. That is all too generous. Thank you so much. You know what? That $100 and then the previous super chat, which is not to take either of those lightly. Those are both very charitable. Thank you guys so much for that. Very kind for both of you and for everyone else for hanging out. Franny left a voicemail. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to play your voicemails. So thank you so much to Jess. I wanted to get your super chat up there. Thank you so much to that. And thank you so much. Oh, you guys are so kind to Sarah for the hundo, the big hundo. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much. Sarah said, sorry for all the troubles tonight. Oh, it's no troubles. It's just, you know, it's like trying to troubleshoot something while you entertain. You know what I mean? It's like if there's a spill while you're hosting an audience, you're like, let me clean up the spill. You know, blood's coming down. You're like, let me just, you know, this is the, you know, trying to show you guys a good time here. I apologize. Sorry for all the troubles tonight, Dave. Try not to stress. We're here through the mess. Just to add, Greg's manipulation and gaslighting was very triggering for a lot of people tonight. Excited to talk about it all. Yeah, I would say if anyone has any sort of issues in these conversations are gonna trigger that, and you don't want to be a part of it, this is just what it's going to be about. We're going to be talking about Greg, the conversation he had with Katie. There will be some people that are defending Greg. We'll get to those. Some former contestants, including in one way or another, Nick Vial and Kayla Quinn, sort of defending Greg. So we'll get to all that. Again, I want to thank you guys so much to everyone for hanging out with me and sort of, sticking around while I kind of figure this all out. I appreciate you guys so much. We're ready to go forward with everything. Let me just make sure I am queued up and back to the start. Yeah, that was very kind of my my ladies out there. Thank you so much for all the love and support. We're over 200 people. I haven't changed the thumbnail yet. Oh, look, see, I just got a message from Google saying they need to verify that it's me. So YouTube thinks my account is being hacked right now. This is what you guys can't see off screen. They have to verify now. This just happened. They're verifying that it's me. I guess every once in a while, I made so many videos today. I think they think my account is hacked. Anyway, we'll play your voicemails. Natalie said, she said, I love you in so many ways. It looks like he had a wall of fear. Sophia said he was hurt. Well, he for sure was hurt. He was for sure hurt. And as we know, hurt people hurt people. It doesn't make it right. Oh, hold on. Now I have to open up the Gmail app on my phone to confirm that this is me, folks. As soon as this happens, we are hitting the highway to Pound Town, folks. There it is. I hit the yes button. 90. Don't you ever have this where they send you clues? You're like, you got to link this all up. All right. It looks like I'm back in. We'll let that continue to refresh. I can't believe I'm not buffering on your end. My computer, you ever see like those cartoons when like the cartoon gets mad and the steam comes out of their ears? That's what my computer's doing right now. That's how much chaos is happening right now. But I appreciate all you guys so much. Cora with a super chat. Thank you so much, Cora. I'm just seeing that right now. Emotional and verbal abuse is just that, abuse. That's my 2 cents. Defending that is really hard for me to relate to. Yeah, so I'm not going to defend, and again, I don't know what comments you're responding to. I'm not going to defend abuse of any type. But what we can do is talk about like what people are thinking. Like this is almost like if you're a mechanic and a car comes into your shop and the owner knows nothing about cars and he goes, I don't know, it's making this weird clicking noise. That owner is never going to know what that clicking noise is, but the mechanic might go, oh, your alternator, the belt's off, and they just have to put the belt back on and it's $2 fixed, you're ready to go. But without that mechanic, you would have had never fixed it. It would have overheated. You would have melted down. I feel like with Greg, he's like off track and someone could probably easily identify what he's doing wrong that's causing him to ruminate and causing all these issues. But if it's not something he understands, you can't fix it from the outside. It's almost like you have to show him what he's doing wrong. And maybe by watching this back, maybe this will be him sort of realizing what he's done wrong, and then he'll be able to fix it. You know what I mean? So that might be the case. Let me see if we're connected here. Double check that I'm connected on my Roadcaster. Is Mercury in retrograde? I don't know how that works. Is Mercury in your tuna salad? Because we've got some issues today. But you guys are hanging out with me. We're going to overcome them. 227 people in the chat. Not bad on my end. Hey, Tasha. Just got a $100 donation. Yeah. Well, they donated because I was having a meltdown. They looked at me and they said, let's keep this guy alive. Thank you guys so much for you don't have to do these crazy donations. I appreciate it by all means. But we are cooking. I am virtually troubleshooted. Is that the right thing? Troubleshooted all of my issues. I just had a major freeze. I believe it was a YouTube problem. It wasn't my internet. I like to clear my computer. Every day I make so much content that my desktop is a bunch of images of like Michael and Dale's toes and QAnon conspiracies. I mean, my computer gets littered every day with all the content I'm sifting through. And so I always refresh it before live stream so I don't have a problem. But, it might be that I need to just buy a like really expensive computer. Like I might just have to get like a workhorse. You know what's crazy though? I moved into this new place a few months ago. Our apartment's only 700 square feet. It's still small. It's a 2-bedroom. It's still very cozy, and we have one AC unit that kind of fills the whole place. Is this normal? My electric bill this month was $160, and I think it's because of these lights I use all day. Now I'm using like very efficient, like these are like, look how small these are. These are like LED lights. They're very efficient, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got like 9 lights on in here to kind of give me the, because you have to light the green screen right here. This is a cloth. If you don't light this right, see how it's kind of like, if you don't light that right, you're going to be in trouble. So anyway, is that normal? $160? I feel like that's what like a house with like multiple level floors should be, but maybe that's just like California. My last place was, we had zero. My last place had zero, we didn't pay for the electricity. It was such an old building. They didn't have the individual meters or whatever on the electricity. So if you really want to get my attention right now, it'll have to be, I will always respond to super chats, and that's not my way of asking for money. It's just that there's so many chats coming in. I can't, I feel bad if you really need to get in touch with me. If there's something urgent, either leave a voicemail. But let's do that. Let me pump the brakes on this and go straight into the voicemails. Oh my gosh, we have a bunch of them. All right, let's go. You know what? Josh from Boston wasn't going to make the live stream, but he's listening tomorrow. He was on the East Coast time. He was in the Discord chat. So let's play Josh. He had a ton of comments he wanted to make.
Dave, it's your boy, Josh from Boston.
That voice.
I don't know how long this is going to be, but I'm just going to go. I've told y'all over the past several weeks that this is a man's game, and the only serious men in this game were the Mikes and Andrew S. Again, that's Michael A., Michael P., and Andrew S. Everyone else was a gossip.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was a dramatic pause. Keep going.
Or loser, or too emotional that it clouded their rationality. Over the past couple weeks, Dave, we were gifted with 2 master classes of breakups. First by Andrew S., teaching us how to be rejected by your girlfriend and then immediately regret that decision, yet while staying classy and poised. It was like chef's kiss beautiful. Then, the next week, Michael A. taught us how to put your child first. Like, don't you ever, and this is for all the parents, don't you ever have your child guess or second guess if you care about them. And then he left us with the most lovely of conversations, thinking about love in time, saying love was actually easier to find. It was that they didn't have enough time, as opposed to love taking a lot longer to get to with the most amount of time. That it was the most beautiful conversation. Who didn't shed a tear? This thug in Boston shed a tear over that conversation. Which brings us to tonight, Dave. What did I just watch? This man, Greg, made Carl look like a better match for Katie. We watched this man, Greg, get all of the rain kisses, get the tandem bike, and the hometown date, only to become frustrated at the first sign of disappointment. And the chat was calling him narcissistic, and I can kind of see their point to that. He did match up with that. And I can see how his expectations were not met, but that did not mean that Katie's affections were not real, which I think he said they weren't, and that her emotions were not on the line. I think Katie respects, or at the very least respected, this process and treated everyone equally, because she wasn't telling anybody that she was in love with him. But Greg thought he deserved more affirmation, which actually is not Katie's job to do at all. And when he didn't receive it, it was catastrophic. And he mistreated her, and he was unwilling to see her point.
Just so you know, I didn't turn you off. It ends at 3 minutes there, Josh. But thank you so much for the phone call. Let's see. Did you? Hold on. Keep going.
Dave, how dare your voicemail? Speaking of narcissists, how dare your voicemail treat? I'm just playing. Back to my point. He mistreated Katie and was unwilling to see her point and eventually shut down. It was like his expectations was all that there was, and there was nothing else to be had. My final 2 points, Dave. Relationships are more built off of overcoming disappointment than this honeymoon phase that they sell us with shows like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, as we all know. And you can ask anybody that's in a committed relationship, if this is how Greg handles disappointment, then he has some work to do, and maybe he now knows that. And this is the last point, and maybe we should all reflect on this. Think about Greg's personality this entire season. And the word that comes to me is flat, because he was flat this entire season and never showed any complexity. In fact, the only time he showed any signs of personality was when he was with Katie, and that was mainly joy. But tonight we saw complexity. This is the first time we saw complex emotions, and it didn't look great, Dave. Maybe he is stunted in his self-awareness, like our friend Thomas. And to me, there's a reason why he appeared flat for the entirety of the season, because any complex emotions that he would have felt would only reveal his inability to deal with the world around him. And I think that is what we have with Greg. I could be wrong, but I think he's just not able to deal and cope with the world around him. Anyways, it was tough. Wish I could have been there for our girl Katie. It was very tough to watch. But I think we might know how this journey ends, and I just hope the best for her. But anyways, thanks for listening. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Josh from Boston, everybody. My man. Brother from another mother. Thank you so much, Josh, for that amazing 2-part voicemail there. Didn't mean to cut you off. I did tell Josh, I said, Josh, you don't have to follow. We don't have enough men in the chat. So I was like, Josh, you don't have to follow. And we also love what he has to say, but you don't have to follow the 1-minute moratorium there. But we got a ton of voicemails we'll get through. I wanted to thank everyone for sticking around. The system completely crashed. It's back up and running. I got the thumbnail up. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Get the likes up to 100 so I can grab a drink. When we get up to 100, we're going to be drinking, and we're going to have some fun tonight, okay? So what are we at for likes right now? Are we close? Let's go to one of my favorite people. This is Franny. I met Franny at one of my stand-up shows a few weeks ago, about a month ago, and we really appreciate you. Franny knows what she's talking about. Now, I don't want to mess this up, Franny, so correct me if I get this wrong, but you are a marriage counselor. What's the technical term for what it is that you do? You're a psychologist. Is that right? Anyway, let's play Franny, hear what she has to say.
Hey Dave, this is Franny. I just finished watching the episode tonight, and about the Greg situation, I was thinking about the whole premise of the show. There's this one theory of love that says that love is made of commitment, emotional intimacy, and passion. And in this show, the guys, they go there and that's what they do, like they develop.
Oh, sorry. Gosh.
Katie, the emotional intimacy and passion, that's what happens in real life. But Katie, she cannot commit until the end. And it seems like Greg was not ready for that. And it may be because he was still grieving or, past relationships or whatever it was. I don't think it's fair to villainize him for what he did. We don't know his past and we don't know what he is going through. And also, it's really easy to say, well, people know what they signed up for when they go on the show, but I think that people don't know exactly what they sign up for until they are in the show. Because, you can have an idea. I mean, I've never been in the show, of course, but you can have an idea of what you're going to go through, but you are not going to know until you are there. So anyways, it's really hard to see Katie struggling so much. I think that also she didn't have an idea of what she signed up for. in the show. But yeah, that's just some of the thoughts that came to my mind. In regards to Blake, their chemistry is undeniable, and his mom is just the best mom ever. Anyway, those are just some of my thoughts. I'm sorry this is a little bit longer than
Don't apologize
it should be. As I told you before, I do talk too much. Anyways, I love what you do. I love your content, and yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you, Franny. You are an expert, and we love your advice. You're a marriage and family expert, and you know what you're talking about, and we appreciate that. I've been told I hit 100 likes, so I'll be back in 20 seconds. You guys are fantastic. You guys do a great job at knowing. You guys do a great job at knowing when to pick me up when I'm losing my mind. And we figured out our problem. It was weird. I don't want that ever to happen again. But we learn something new every day here. This is not a sponsor, but Tasha got these. She did a little brand deal with these. Ranch Water Blue Agave Hard Seltzer. How great is that? Blue Agave Hard Seltzer Grapefruit. Again, not a sponsor. They're not paying me. No one's paying me to promote their beers, but they should be, right? Cheers to you guys. Do your drug of choice. Whatever that might be. Maybe it's a tea. Maybe you're blowing lines of Adderall. Who knows what you guys are doing over there. Sarai says, the whole thing tonight has stopped me from wanting to drink. Hey, oh, the dog's barking. I gotta let the dog in. Sorry, one second. The dog's barking because I shut the door on him. You guys know that the dog needs...
Now that I'm looking back, I can see all the signs I tried to fill in the cracks that were spread in my mind, but I was all out of hope, lost in an endless maze.
How funny. The dog was barking, so I would let him in. He just wanted to come sit down and be with us. This show put people in a crazy environment. I think everyone involved is bound to be on edge. Yeah, so here's the deal. Here's where we have to struggle. When we talk about like understanding all sides, we know Katie's okay. Katie's okay. All right? It was tough to watch. She's okay. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people that are really upset with Greg. And that's fair. We get upset when we watch this show because we think of our own hurt. We think of the ways we've all been hurt. We think of the ways, that we've, not overcome stuff. Ileana says, let's see, not abusive. He was hurt and voiced it. Sensitive extra? Yes. But if I confessed my love and he said, I love looking at you, my ass would be out the door too. Men have a right to react emotionally. That's a good point, and that's a good point that men have a right to react emotionally. And again, guys, we're all having a good time here. We're going to talk about this like a bunch of mature adults, and the Days End said she told his mom she would see Greg the next week. So yeah, obviously she thought Greg might have been the one, which obviously is going to be wild for like Blake to look back at and Justin to be like, oh geez, she had that kind of connection with Greg. But you almost have to just be like so hyper focused on these relationships and treat the Greg Katie relationship for what it is and treat the Blake Katie relationship for what it is. And Greg just wasn't able to do that. He just wasn't able to do that. I don't think I always go with like the simplest thought. People are saying, by the way, Jennifer Gully says, give Boone some love for us. Oh, he's getting a lot of love. Don't you worry. He's getting double the meals right now. We're trying to fatten him up. He's farting a bunch. Extra pets. He got a bath. We haven't put his collar back on, so he's just nothing but fur. When the dog usually has the collar, he's jingling around. He's just a stealth fur ball right now. Anyway, what was I saying? So the thing is, the way I look at it is this. I don't think Greg's a master actor and he was I feel his pain. I think he wasn't able to accept Katie's apology. Like, he wasn't able to get past the part where he looked at her and he, like, opened up. So people have to realize this. Whenever, like, you do something that's way out of your comfort zone, like maybe, I don't know, tell someone you love them on national TV and they don't respond, the ego is a wicked thing. So while we don't give Greg, like, necessarily a pass, we go, oh, this is like a scenario where he tells her he loves her. He doesn't get the response he just, like, wholeheartedly thought he would get, and he felt crushed. Now, an enlightened person doesn't let somebody else control their emotions. You know, you're going to cut me off in traffic? So be it. Have a good one, bro. I'm just going to drink my tequila and get on with my day. Because if I raise my voice yelling at you, it's only going to increase my own blood pressure. Now, Greg's not there. You know, he's at the stage of life where, you know, he's dealing with the loss of his dad and a bunch of other things. Now, of course, collateral damage is something we never want. You never want your own BS to affect other people. Luckily, Katie's fully equipped to deal with stuff like this. She's fully equipped to deal with, you know, what you might call an F-boy or somebody who's not willing to settle down, or maybe they think they're ready and then they find out they're not. She's the perfect person for that. Now, it's going to hurt her. Clearly, as the episode ended, she like wants a plane ticket home, you know? So we're going to have to see how that ends. One episode left and she wants a plane ticket home. So we're going to have to see how that goes. Angel is kicking it with her drug of choice, chamomile tea. Cheers to you on that. Part of me wants to drink a Mike's Lemonade. I like those. Yeah, go for a Mike's Lemonade. You know, this is just a 5% alcohol, but, you know, I 9 videos today. I wasn't planning on having a drink, but, you know, I made 9 videos today, and this last one caused me a little bit of gray hairs to come in. So we just, you know, we're going to need to relax after that. So Sarah said, screaming, yelling, physical abuse. Who knows how aggressive he may get? Yeah, no, there's definitely red flags there, but red flags doesn't mean he's a wife beater. You know, it definitely means, whoa, what the hell was that all about? But, I don't know. Did I watch a different episode? Again, I'm not here defending him. I'm just wondering how the heck we got from the beginning of that scene where they were like happy, you know, they were kissing in the rain, to just boom, wild. You know, some of my best friends growing up, I've been exposed to so many dynamic people. I say dynamic because some of my best friends were the biggest self-sabotagers. And it makes you, and like, they were great guys, but like, they were so volatile. Some of these guys were so volatile, whether after they had a drink or they were in a situation of adversity, or if they've exposed themselves and like, got burned on a deal or something. I've just seen it happen so many times. A lot of voicemails to get through here, so we'll try to get through all of them. Let's go to Trina from Louisiana. You're up next.
Hi, this is Trina from Louisiana, and I just have to say, Greg, it's a no for me. He's horrible. He's just manipulative, just horrible.
Beautiful accent.
Poor Katie was on that ground. I felt for Katie. Katie needs to get up off that ground and curse Greg out and walk out and leave. Thanks.
Trina, love your voice, love your accent. Trina from Louisiana, she goes, it's a no for me. Thank you so much for that call. I really appreciate it. Let's go to Rachel in upstate New York. You are up.
Hi, Dave. This is Rachel from upstate New York. I just had a couple comments on tonight's episode. So, first of all, Katie went on Nick Vile's podcast a few weeks ago and said that there was a villain that was worse than Thomas, that was up and coming and we hadn't yet to see it. Obviously, she was referring to Greg. And the whole time I was like, how? And now I'm like, after seeing tonight's episode, no, he's not a villain. He freaking...
Okay.
He detected the distance, you know? He detected that even though she wouldn't say she was in love with him, like as she had said throughout the past few episodes, she didn't want to say she was in love with anyone until the end. But I mean, we've seen it before. Like, if she was in love with him, if he was the one and he was like, okay, I'm leaving, she would have stopped him. She would have said, okay, I'm in love with you. And she makes him out to be the villain. I love Katie, but she definitely hyped this up into a way. I mean, not hyped it up, but like turned it into something bigger because she was hurt.
Okay, so we got a couple comments sort of agreeing with you in a way. Bridget said, I feel like he was trying to keep getting angry about anything he could come up with. Actually, that's a different comment. Yeah, well, when you're upset and you're not thinking rationally, like he couldn't, he was so tunneled into like this thought of how he'd been offended. She kept on apologizing, and your heart just fell for Katie. She's apologizing. She's pleading with him. Like, how can you not understand this? And to be quite honest, I wonder if they took maybe 10 minutes to just separate and like have a drink of water. I wonder if they could have gotten out of that fight or flight mode. You know what I mean? But again, we just will never know. I mean, obviously, like someone else had said, if this was how he handled this conversation, I mean, where do you go from here? Where do you go from there? All right, let's go to Lindsay from Kansas City. Let's hear from you. You are up next on the Hotmail line. Hold on. Lindsay in Kansas.
So I imagine a lot of people are bringing their pitchforks and torches to the anti-Greg parade. I did want to bring something up, maybe potentially different, though, is during the conversation with Katie and Greg when they were talking about the relationship and Greg was really opening up. I mean, there was a moment where I thought Katie was a bit more stoic and, taking it all in.
I didn't see this, but I'm chatting on the Discord. I'm making comments. So sometimes I miss these things. I didn't see this at all, but I'm not saying this didn't happen. I didn't get to see that visual, but that's very fascinating. Let me finish your voicemail here.
A hypothesis for you, I would possibly venture to guess that she was fighting with herself and contemplating whether or not she wanted to tell him that she loved him. And I know she previously had stated that she just wants to tell, she wants to wait until there's only one guy at the end. But I think in that moment when Greg was really looking for reassurance, I think that's why she may have come across as just a little bit more just by yourself, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, just a thought. Anyway, love the show. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, Lindsay in Kansas City. Thank you so much. Let's go to Margie. Margie's up. Let's hear from you. You are up next.
Hi, Dave. This is Marcy.
Marcy.
I just am so in awe of where you've come to from the early days that I started watching you. And I mean, you need to be so proud of yourself.
Oh,
and
thanks.
Tasha, oh my gosh, she's killing it. Somebody should scoop her up and offer her millions of dollars
Yes.
to do what she's doing. And you as well. And I'm sure they have or they will
They have
shortly.
not.
Anyway, my question is
Oh, sorry. It just burned you there. All right. Sorry about that.
thing about the Discord. I'm not clear as to how to get there, and if it's possible to watch the live show early without whatever it is, a VPN or whatever you need, because I don't have.
Send me a DM and I'll get the
can't get
info.
the channel. I don't have cable. I have Roku. Anyway, if you can direct me to, I'm gonna look in the chat and see if I can remember what you said the other day. Thanks so much, Dave. Good luck to you and Tasha. Love you both.
Oh, what a
Thank
nice
you so
comment.
much.
Thank you. I wrote down your phone number here so I can play that voicemail for Tasha. I never play a voicemail specifically for Tasha, but I think that's really sweet. And I'm trying to give her as much encouragement as possible because I don't think she realizes I don't think she necessarily realizes the potential she has. I really don't with regards to what she talks about in the fashion world. And I think it's a big deal. Yeah, no, I think she could get scooped up in a second. I think she could absolutely have a show on like E! News or something, just casually. You'll see in her recap tomorrow, I casually surprised her with some content that she wasn't prepared for, and she just knocks it out of the park. She's very knowledgeable. Sarai, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's all just get along and realize that we all have different perceptions on how we see and feel things. Still love you all. I left a voicemail. I'll play your voicemail. Listen, I don't exactly know if there's any fighting happening in the comment section, but so far it's been pretty good with me. We're just all coming at it with different points of views. There's plenty of people that have been burned by gaslighting, by someone who thinks they know what they want. I mean, look, he interrupted her several times. She got down on her knees. She tried to de-escalate. Katie did nothing wrong. Now, did she do something that might have triggered him? Maybe inadvertently she did. I'm so hot right now. Maybe inadvertently she did, but it wasn't because she's a bad person. It's because she's the lead of a show. She's never dated multiple guys before. She asked him for that compassion, and he wasn't able to give it to her. She asked him to be like, look, just understand where I'm coming from. It's very challenging, this and that. And he wasn't able to get there. In the end, he needed, a best friend, a conversation with somebody to steer him in the right direction, or he's just, needs help and he'll figure it out before his next relationship, or he'll keep getting these types of problems when push comes to shove. You see this like sort of counter dependency. Someone who's just like, you know what? I gotta go. Peace. And it's like, God bless Katie for seeing him be so fight or flight. And by fight or flight, I mean flight. God bless her for, what a gift I would say it is for her to see this side of him as soon as she did. Because that will warn her to kind of like steer in a different direction. All right, let's go to Victoria in Washington State.
Hi, Dave. This is Victoria from Washington State. Big fan, first-time caller, though. I'm currently watching the West Coast airing. This is insane. I just had to call because this is the most like gaslighting, and I don't use that word easily or often. It is the most manipulative thing. I cannot even believe, like, poor Katie. Oh, I can't wait to hear everyone's voicemails and everyone's rants and what you have to say about this. Because it's just ridiculous. Like, what? Like, this, it's so manipulative. Pure gaslighting, like, should be put into a psychology textbook. Great job, Greg. Anyway, big fan. Thanks for all you do. Bye, Dave.
Oh, thank you so much. Victoria from Washington State, first-time caller. Victoria, what a beautiful name. I have a cousin named Victoria. Vicky, I love the name Victoria. Sarah said, that's not what I meant, Dave. I don't even know what, the things are flying at me, so by all means, if I take something out of context, I'm not judging anybody out here. So if anyone can reiterate what they're trying to say, maybe it looks like I might be very far behind. So Annie Banana said, Katie apologizing was a huge red flag. If that was enough to upset him and make her feel responsible for fixing it and not even really know what she was apologizing for, he'd be very hard to be with. Yeah, well, look, I mean, I think it was one of those, like, apologize is, like, sort of a way to disarm someone. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, let's talk about it. Like, you almost want to get someone back down to your level. And in the end, it's like, he's got his own thing going on here.
Hey Dave, it's Sarai. Oh my God, what an episode. Like, oh my God. I feel so
I'm listening,
bad.
I'm going to go open a window.
For Greg. He put his heart on the line. And Katie, it's like he just put this wall up and I don't know where the wall came from. It's like you both have lost your dad. I've lost my dad. I know what that pain feels like. I know, it's like I was waiting for her to reach out and give him a hug or something to help reassure him, saying, you know what? I know that feeling. I know what you're going through. I love you, just like you love me. But it's just like, I don't know what made her put the brakes on it and just say, or just not say anything. It's like watching that episode of the Gilmore Girls.
I can't believe that I didn't see this part. So I was listening to it, but I couldn't agree with you because I didn't see that part.
Lorelai's having that dream and she, Luke is laying out this speech for her, and he's all in, and she just plans up, and it's like, say something. Please, say something. Tell him how you feel. And it's like, I get, the whole when Ben Higgins did it, with JoJo and Lauren, he both said, I love you to both of them, and it blew up. It's part of the unwritten rule that you don't say I love you to that person. But still, it's like, Katie, what the F is going on with you? Say something. And so I just felt so badly for him. He's crying, and she's not doing a darn thing. Just sitting there, her eyes look glazed over. So it's just like a deer caught in the headlights. So it's just like, oh my God, girl, what the heck is wrong with you? And I love her. But it's kind of like, Katie, maybe she felt so secure in her relationship with him. She felt like she didn't need to.
Could have been that.
It's like the opposite of what Abigail and Matt had. So I don't know. Does anyone else agree with me? Sophia, someone, please. All right. See you guys soon. Bye.
Now, Sarai, I know you commented this right before the chat went live, and I'm just going to fast forward to everyone's comments. So, again, I am getting so many comments here that I'm just not able to respond to all. I am caught up. So, Sage says, I think she was trying to listen, and when she spoke, she said the wrong thing. Yeah, it's one of those things we'll never know, but it's less about the crossroad of what caused him to question things and more about the fact that when he brought his concerns to her, she acknowledged them, she apologized, and he couldn't accept that. So you're going to have issues in life. You're going to have things that you misread, or you're going to catch somebody on a bad day or going through a hard issue. You need to have that grace to right the wrong. You need to have that grace to calm the rough waters. And he wasn't able to, no matter what happened before, even if he looked at her dead in the eyes, because Tasha knows this, you get in fights, you get very defensive sometimes. If he looked at her dead in the eyes and said, I love you, and she just walked away, that's not a deal breaker. If the next day he says, hey, what are you doing? Like I said, I loved you, and you walked away. And she says, I'm so sorry. My processor was crazy. Like, everyone's got a different type of focus, a different way they deal with things. But if you come to the table during sober, neutrally feeling moments and can't accept somebody's apology, then you got to work your things out there. You know what I mean? I don't know. Does that make any sense? Let's go to Columbia Heights, Minnesota for a phone call.
Hey, Dave. It's Laura calling from Columbia Heights, Minnesota. Yeah, that's right. Minnesota. That state you were throwing some serious shade to during your video about Michelle's season.
Only in the winter.
Anyway, I'm off work tomorrow, so I thought I'd pop in for this West Coast live stream to give my home state some love.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Sort of. Don't mess with us Minnesotans. But seriously, you should come do a show in Minneapolis sometime.
I would love to.
We've got a pretty good scene for music and comedy, I think.
You have great
comedy piece. But definitely music. I mean, we did bring Prince to the world and Bob Dylan. I'll stop with Minnesota love. Anyway, thanks for all the great content. I've been enjoying it, and all of Tasha's stuff. So excited to hear your thoughts on tonight's episode. Yikes. Brought back so many memories of toxic relationships past. Loved seeing Emily Moynes, though, on the screen.
Oh, she was great. Emily did great on the screen. We love seeing her. Look at her right here. Tasha and I included her in the fashion recap there. We popped the collar. Everyone pop your collar for Emily right there. She was fantastic. She did a great job. Very funny. Blake's sister was great. She really hit it hard. By the way, Blake's sister is like, she's lost a bunch of weight. She's working out. She's looking fantastic. Good on that family. Good on that family for just like sticking together. I mean, this show in some weird ways must have really brought this family together. It's just really great to see them. Michaela, New York.
This is Michaela from New York. I'm just calling to say that I think that the Greg and Keith situation was ridiculous. She's somebody who's made it very clear to him from the start. She spends more time reassuring him about her feelings for him than anything else this whole time. So what I saw when she didn't react the way he wanted was her trying to hold back so she didn't overreact and say something that she wasn't ready to say, like, you're the one, like Caitlyn did to Sean way too early. And the overreaction he had, I mean, I definitely saw it coming because it seems like every single conversation they always had, she's like, oh my God, I like you so much. And then he's like, oh my God, do you really like me? Like, do you really actually like me? And she spends half the time just telling him how much she likes him. And the fact that she literally told his family that he will be here next week, no doubt about it. I mean, bro, that's like literally the indication that she was trying to say, you're the one, without saying, you're the one. And the fact that he can't understand the position that she was in, I mean, it's just a little bit disrespectful on his end, I think. I mean, I think she handled the tough situation as best as she could. And I get that he was emotional too, but like, come on, bro, you know how hard it is for her. You know, you should have an understanding for what she's going through as well, not just want her to understand what you're going through. Doesn't seem like a give and take relationship to me. It just seems like take on his end. But that's just my 2 cents. Anyway, I do wish the best for both of them. I hope he finds something that works better for him in his life, and I really hope she ends up with her Canadian. Anyway, bye, guys.
Well, thank you so much for the call. Michaela from New York. And Cora said, I hope none of you all get treated the way Katie did by Greg tonight. Oh, of course. Of course. Listen, it goes without saying that whenever we dive into the toxicity of breakups, of situations on the show, that you never want somebody else to deal with this. If I had, like, I don't know, children that were in their teens and starting to date, I'd want to teach them about healthy boundaries, about doing what's right for them and not pleasing others. I mean, so much I've learned about codependency and dealing with others' problems. Narcissism seems to be something that, I mean, I don't know too much about, people talk about like, oh, that's a classic narcissist or this or that, guys. I don't know all of the terms, but I do know that Greg, regardless of what Katie did, I don't care if she fell asleep while he was saying he loved her. Regardless of that, you can't tell somebody something for their reaction. Okay. So like when I told Tasha I loved her for the first time, I remember I was sitting next to the pool. I had this bachelor pad in the valley. There was a pool right there. I was sitting next to it. I said, listen, I'm not going to wait for some like perfect moment because there is no such thing to tell you I love you. I love you. I'm in love with you. And I said, because I know Tasha, she's very much like I know her, right? I go, look, you don't have to say anything. Your response isn't dependent on how I feel. It's not going to change. And I think, maybe a few weeks later, she told me she loved me. And there was no timeline. Now, the show provides a timeline for these people. So they go, I need to know she loves me because there's other guys, and they start to do these things that bring out the worst in people. So while Cora says, I hope none of you ever get treated the way Katie did by Greg tonight, I agree. At the same time, situations can veer people towards their worst or best. And unfortunately with The Bachelor, with the sleep deprivation and dating other guys and fantasy suites around the corner, oh my gosh, whatever issues he had, they lit that shit on fire and made it 1,000 times worse. And I'm not saying it's not his root issue to deal with, but of course I'll find empathy for all the villains on the show. Even the Yosefs, I can still empathize with, like, geez, this person, I disagree, but man, who hurt them, Anyway, let's get a lot of voicemails to play. I hope you guys are enjoying these phone calls as much as I am. Oh, we have a Karen from Canada. Here we go. Karen from Canada. You're up.
Dave, it's Karen from Canada. My opinion about tonight was Greg gaslighting? No.
Okay.
Is he emotionally ready for a relationship? No. I think he still needs to deal with the aftermath of his father's death. And as someone who has been abused in the past, him continuing to ask her for reassurance was very triggering, and her standing her ground and saying, I'm not going to say I love you until the end, is something that we are taught when we are learning to be survivors. Great updates. Keep up the great work. Bye.
Thank you so much, Karen in Canada. I appreciate your long-distance voicemail. Thank you so much for that Canadian love. Marissa in Seattle.
Hey, Dave. This is Marissa from Seattle, and I am just calling basically to say what the frick happened tonight. This was a very strange episode. I found myself kind of not really even knowing where the conversations were going. I felt like I didn't believe the whole acting thing about Greg until I saw this episode. And then I kind of was like, what is happening? Like, it was like almost, it didn't seem real. It kind of came, it felt like it was coming from left field. and on his part, and I just feel really bad for her. And then also, I think mainly I'm just thinking, how are they going to carry on after this? Like, how is she going to carry on after this heartbreak she said was like the worst of her life? And with Blake, I mean, it just seems very difficult. So anyways, it's heartbreaking. This is crazy. All right.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, great points, Marissa from Seattle. Sage brought up a new point. Maybe producers told her, we cannot have another Claire Dale situation here, Katie. No running off with Greg in the moonlight. So she's trying to see how to get to all 10 episodes. Well, I think, unlike Claire and Dale, I think Katie's got very strong feelings for Blake. Justin, I mean, just from the looks of it, everyone that was commenting in the chat that I was in was saying like, oh, Justin has no idea. And that's the thing. You never know how strong the other relationships are, right? So even Katie, when she was on Matt James' season, she said it wasn't until hindsight that I realized how strong his relationships are with other people. And she was like, oh, I didn't stand a chance. You know what I mean? Excuse me. I'm getting some burps here. One of these is a water. I'm not just double chugging two different things here, just so you know. Christy in Texas, let's go to you. You're up, Christy in Texas.
Hey, Dave, this is Christy in Texas, and I'm not sure what show everyone else was watching because I was never Team Greg, but tonight Katie's lost me. Wow. He laid his heart on the line, and I know she didn't reciprocate, and I can understand that, but she just totally shut down on him, and I could totally understand why he was sent for a loop. And this whole mess about she couldn't respond, that's never the case. They can say what they want to say. That's been proven time and time again. And she said more before tonight than she did right there. So I don't know if it was an edit situation or what, but I was never Team Greg, but I would have hit the road if I was him too. Thanks.
And of course, thank you so much for the phone call there, Christy in Texas. Very interesting that, I know I overuse the term very interesting, but very interesting how people are watching two different things. It's like one of those optical illusions. You look at it this way, it's one thing. You turn it, it's a different thing. People are seeing... and that's what we do with empathy. And I think the challenge is to see things a way you're not currently seeing it. So I'm going to ask you guys to see it the way Christy in Texas sees it. And if you see it the way Christy in Texas sees it, see it the way Jess sees it or somebody else. And it doesn't hurt anybody because we're not asking someone to relive their traumas or enable somebody. We're just looking to say, look, obviously there's a lot of issues that happened, but... the ego is just a wild thing, isn't it, right? For Greg to spill it out there, I mean, it must have been very hard for him to, maybe get up the courage. It's almost like, you see the trope. And now I know Greg's a grown man, but, when you resort back to, childhood kids, right? If a guy's, pushes a girl into the sandbox. Now, of course, that's not healthy. But is that the kid trying to get her attention? You know what I mean? Like what kids do to try to get people's attention. It's cruel and brutal. And with Greg's scenario, again, I'm not saying it's healthy, but by putting himself out there and not getting the response he thought, clearly, that took him places. Doesn't mean it's healthy. Not at all. So the idea that Katie tried to apologize, she was doing the best she could to try to sort of settle this situation down. In the long term, I don't think it would be healthy to just apologize if someone else is offended that you're not where they need you to be. I've struggled with this in my relationship where if I give someone a gift of my time, you know how mad you get when you show up and someone's late and you're like, they're late, I'm here on time, you're stealing my time. And it's like, yeah, and of course, if they're a repeat offender over and over, it's like you got to tell your friend, hey, if you're late when we said we're going to be on time, you're taking things away from me. But at the same time, you can't give someone a life sentence because the ego is just a wicked thing. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Ashley in Salt Lake, you are up next.
Hey, it's Ashley from Salt Lake. This is the first time I've called in.
Hey, welcome.
I'm just calling in to say this reminds me of a lot of situations in The Bachelor where I've noticed when men are disrespectful, the fandom goes pretty easy on them. They're doing it out of supposed love. I remember Peter on Rachel's season was really disrespectful to her in the end. And then you had Colton who strung Tia along and then literally wouldn't take no for an answer from Cassie. And I just think, Greg went from wanting reassurance, which she wanted the whole season, to then demanding that she basically tell him he was number one, and then really vilifying her and being super disrespectful. So I think when it shifted to him demanding that she tell him that he was number one and essentially quit, that's what I was getting. It was not okay. He was super disrespectful and rude, and I'm not here for making justifications for it. I feel like the fandom does that too much. Anyway, hope this wasn't too long. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you so much. Ashley, not long at all. I appreciate your phone call. And yet these situations just bring out so much, like we've all said, we can see ourselves in scenarios. I was saying before Greg got to the point, I'm trying to think at what point. There was that point in the Discord where I was like saying, hey guys, I'm Greg. I'm the guy who's going to get jealous if someone's, I've got some of those tendencies. I think I would have done a way better job at listening to Katie and being reassured. I wouldn't have been gone at that point. I'm not the type to walk away from a relationship by any means. I'm not Greg in that sense. I'm the type to I'm gonna pursue a relationship until it is brain dead, and then even then I'm gonna try to keep that baby warm. I want to know without a doubt. I pursued every avenue to make it work. And my current relationship, my happy, great relationship, there's been times where due to bad communication and different personality traits that we have been on life support, and we've always come back to the point of the curiosity to understand the other's intentions and taking each other's word that we meant well. And that doesn't exactly happen in Greg and Katie's scenario because she's dating other guys. So there isn't that faith. With our relationship, I've always known, we're going to get through it. We're going to move forward together, united. We help each other. I've always been believed in that. I'm a big team guy. But if she was dating another guy, I'd be like, well, where's the commitment? You know what I mean? So I can understand that. All right, here we go. We got a long one here. We got only 4 voicemails left, so the voicemail line's open if anyone wants to call in. This one's a little long, so I might have to cut it off early, but let's go to Leslie in Texas.
Leslie from Texas, and I'm in no way, shape, or form, a Grippo girl. But I can definitely see where Greg is coming from. I think he's coming from, a place of hurt. I don't think he's fully healed from, his father's death. And you can kind of see that in his family dynamics. They're saying, oh my God, we haven't seen him be this happy in so long. And I feel like that's a lot of pressure on. That's a lot of Greg was putting a lot on Katie to be that person to fill the void. And I've been in that position where you're trying to clench onto anything good in your life to make you feel better about what's not going good in your life. And so I feel like, he definitely needs some therapy and to work on that. And that kind of led to him, just basically kind of, manipulating Katie later on in the fight. But I also think that people are, saying oh, you should know the format. I mean, okay, I guess you should, there's no format. It's a show, about love. There's no format in love. So I think Katie was trying to, I'm all over the place. I think Katie was trying to, follow the format of the show and give him little clues. She was kind of just wait it out, kind of trying to I can't say this on, I'm trying to follow the format. I don't want producers mad at me, just, follow along with me. But he was in a position where I think personally, if I was on the show in his place, I would also be well, this is your show, it's your season. If you really love me, you would just break the rules. There's no rules in love. You would just be with me. I think he was just so vulnerable, and he was telling her it was so hard for me to say something. I opened up to you, and can't even if I'm really yours, if we're really meant to be together, you can't just tell me. I think he's just very hurt and very sad, and I just don't think that they were good together, and obviously didn't work out together. And yeah, anyway, we're team Zach Clark, Jason, not Jason. Jason Tardik over here. So
Zach
anyway,
Clark
bye
and
guys.
Jason Tartik. All right, two legends right there, two goats. Now we've got Laura says, speaking of Canada, can we talk about that Canadian dildo Katie tweeted tonight? We sure can. So here it is. Katie said this. Don't we love Katie? She said, I wore a flipping Sunday church outfit just so I could receive this gift from his mom. So shout out to Emily Moyne. She brings a Canadian gift back here to the States, and boy, does she do it proud. A suction cup adult toy. Emily told me she thought they would put a black box over it the way they did, the other gifts, but they didn't show this at all. So that's Katie's cat Tommy clearly using this. Now I've been told these pleasure vessels here are used in the shower as suction cups. You can back into them like you're a truck loading up the goods. So I've been told. But anyhow, folks, that's that. Not much else we can say about that. Sophia says, can we just move on to fantasy suites and quick fires in the lighthouse? Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's move on to fantasy suite. I don't mind doing that. Now, the question's going to be, are we doing the math right? She's down to 2 guys. So no wonder the season ended shortly. I mean, she's running out of gentlemen here. So we have a no-name person in the heated discussion, and that's fine. And listen, I respect all of you, okay? Everyone's coming at this conversation that I'm talking to, that I'm hearing, with great respect. I can't always speak for the comment section, but I will tell you this. No one deserves to be blocked from the comment section unless they're, engaging in hateful, really toxic. Like, if your opinion's different than someone else's, that's the name of the show, folks. Everyone's got different opinions. But by all means, I can understand if this conversation's too heavy for people and they want to tune out. I can understand. Absolutely. But, it's an important conversation. Let's get into this. We have a person here who's not sharing their name. I respect that. Let's hear your voicemail. Hold on. Just got to get this loaded up here.
I give my name as I think this is a heated discussion and I don't feel like being harassed after the fact. I want to talk about the other side of the coin and defend Greg. Now, absolutely no one can say with certainty what Greg was feeling or thinking, as no one can actually venture into his brain. I think a lot of people expect the contestants, mostly the males, to suck it up and put up with the lead potentially sleeping with other contestants during Fantasy Suite. Come on, most dudes would straight up trip thinking of other dudes stuffing their girls. So why are people so shocked that Greg would break right before this particular event? These people are humans and they will have normal human reactions regardless. Clearly, they aren't compatible, so let bygones be bygones. She's supposedly with someone who is better suited to her now, and Greg will someday find someone who's better suited to him. Just an opinion.
Well, thank you so much for that call, and I appreciate you calling in. Of course, the voicemail is we always accept anonymous phone calls. Absolutely. I wish by all means stay anonymous, but I do want people to feel comfortable and not feel like they're going to get harassed in the comment section for having a different point of view whatsoever. We don't want to have that sort of vibe in here. It's just not worth it. Some people have said Katie's a villain. We know Katie's not the villain. Some people have said Greg's a villain, that Greg's the gaslighter. Gaslighting is one of those terms that, it's like, I've heard it explained a million different ways. I understand what gaslighting is. I understand where it comes from. I've done tons of research. I've also been told on occasions that I'm gaslighting, and I go, I don't think I'm gaslighting at all. I'm saying something that's true, and we have a different memory of how things went down. But anyway, the point is that obviously there's a lot to unpack, and it seems like people are probably not going to change their opinion on what they saw, and that's okay. And it's important in your own relationships to try to apply, boundaries, and maybe you learn something from the show and you want to apply it to your relationship to make your life healthy, and that's good too. But I think we have good faith in Katie kind of being able to suss out in hindsight when something was a little effed up. And, what would be really nice is if Greg watches this and goes on a podcast and maybe there's a scenario where he goes, I see what I did there. And again, I'm not speaking for him. I don't know if he would do this, but saying, I see what I did there. I see how I was ruminating on certain things and I couldn't let other things go and whatever the case may be. But as far as this voicemail goes, she said, I think you said the word stuffed. So yeah, I mean, it would be very hard. I've never been in a scenario where you're dating someone and they're dating other people and he has a breakdown. And someone previously said, sleep deprivation, don't they have plenty of time to sleep? Well, it's been reported, I don't know if this is the case here, but it's been reported before they'll turn the lights on real early, they'll get you out of bed, and they'll do a wonder to you out there. So it's really hard to tell, but let's go to the East Coast. Catherine in Florida.
What's up, Dave? This is Catherine from Florida. First, I want to say welcome back from your vacation. This is the first time I've been able to call in and catch a live stream since you've been back. So I'm glad you had a good time. I'm really looking forward to seeing the vlogs from all the stuff that you did. So I want to talk about, obviously, the episode tonight. First things first, the whole Greg situation. I've never been the biggest Greg fan from the beginning. I feel like he was expecting a lot more out of Katie than he really should have been. The fact that he's like totally thinking that she should be 100% in on him at this point, like, I kind of get it, I probably would be just as jealous if I was him, but at the same time, like, he signed up for this, so he should know that she can't just be all in, before the very end, and I totally respect her for not telling anybody that she loves them until the very end. I always thought that was like a rule, but apparently it's not, so, whatever. I've liked Blake from the start. Ever since he came in, I always thought that he was going to be the best choice for her. But honestly, Justin, I don't understand. I don't know how he's made it to the top 3. I feel like we haven't seen a whole lot of their story. I don't get it. I don't get their love story at all. I mean, he's probably a nice guy, obviously she's something in him, but I just feel like we haven't seen enough of him. So I really don't understand how he made.
Oh, I just lost you there. I think it cut out. Thank you so much. Didn't mean to cut you off further, Catherine, but thank you so much. Did you get another voicemail here? Let's go to Jonathan. We have a guy here. Jonathan in New Hampshire, you're up. Trying to get through all the new callers here first, and then I'll play some repeats. We had some additional calls. Very busy night here, folks.
Calling. Man, hey, this is Jonathan in New Hampshire calling.
Live free or die.
Man, that felt like a slow speed car crash, what I saw tonight. Oh my God. The reaction of Katie as Greg was professing his love for her, the non-reaction, I should say, was incredible. But watching Greg do the 360, or the 180, I should say,
yep,
from how he felt earlier in the evening to how he felt the moment that he professed his love and she gave no response whatsoever, and then everything just turned on a dime and the whole world just turned upside down, was just absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, it was like watching a car crash in slow motion. Incredible. Caught my attention, and it's 10 after 2 in the morning, so I guess I better go to bed. Thanks.
Jonathan.
First time caller, by the
Hey,
way.
Jonathan.
Love the show.
Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate your call. We need more men calling. I know women make up 90%. Oh, too many ladies in the live. I love the ladies. Thank you guys so much. But the gentleman, Jonathan in New Hampshire, have a good evening. Live free or die. Love New Hampshire. We call that white trash, Boston. I mean that with love. I'm a Rhode Islander. Come on now. All right. Our friend Susan in Washington, you're up.
Susan in Washington.
How are you? Oh, did we lose you? We might have lost you there. We lost Susan. I think we'll get you back. There it is. We got her back. Here's Susan in Washington. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Here we go. You're up.
Sorry, I don't mean to call all the time, but this is very exciting. I want to talk about everybody, like you said, Dave, there's so many ways to see this. And in my opinion, none of us are really wrong. So I think there are some things going on here that not only they not saying, but they also don't see for themselves. For example, when Greg was pouring out his heart and felt like he was giving his all, opening up. I saw what Sarai saw. Like, she was kind of just, she seemed to freeze. And my thought is, she said she'd be honest with him, but she was struggling with subconscious feelings of Blake or, Michael A being gone. Who knows? But it's like somehow she couldn't really convey to him what he needed, and she didn't necessarily have it to give him at that moment. And then yet again, Greg was like triggered. I don't want to say triggered, but reacted out of the fear of loss, having lost his father. He's going to be super sensitive to that, so he may have overreacted to that. But this may not represent who he is. So either way, it's just not a good match. So anyway, those are my thoughts. And, I love hearing what everyone has to say, and love what you have to say. You're always a good empathizer. So anyway, have a good night, everybody.
Oh,
bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Susan in Washington, for calling in. We always appreciate you. Now, Catherine says she left a second voicemail because it was a different topic. Oh, is that you? Okay, I didn't know that was you. Let's see. He was an update. This is from Catherine. I got that first one, so here's the second one here. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was Catherine. So, several weeks ago, I for the new people out here, I asked the audience if they could throw a few dollars to Catherine, whose dog needed some surgery. I would say life-changing, just like my dog just needed. And you guys came through, and I think you were able to get the surgery. Let's have a listen. This is exciting stuff here, folks. Let's get to the voicemail here. Hold on. We're buffering.
Voicemail because I have a second totally different.
All right, here we go.
What's up, Dave? This is Catherine from Florida. I'm leaving a second voicemail because I have a second totally different subject that I wanted to talk about. So first thing I want to say is that my dog has been doing so good. She has been chasing lizards, which is her favorite thing to do.
Chasing
lizards. She hasn't had the energy or motivation to do that in a long time. So seeing her do that today was very exciting. So she's doing really, really good, and it's very heartwarming to see. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is I started watching F-Boy Island today. I totally get it. Nakia, I think is her name. I really, really like her. CJ, I agree, she's trouble, but I think that she's great. And what's the girl's name? Sarah. I think she is adorable. Honestly, I think she's definitely going to become my favorite as the season goes on. I think she's just so cute. But I'm really looking forward to this show. I think that so far, I mean, it's so good. The Limbro that they go to is literally like a dog yard on the beach. Like, it's literally just a fenced-in yard. Like, that really sucks. But I still don't understand how the Limbo and what's it called, the Nice Boy Cabana or whatever it is. I think that I don't understand the point of it. Like, are they going to come back at some point? Is it like a Big Brother thing where they have like a jury at the end? Like, I don't know, but I'm excited to see how that plays out. I didn't know if I was going to watch the show or not, but listening to your recap made me curious. And let's be honest, I have nothing but free time to watch TV, so always down for a new show. So I'm really excited to see how the season plays out, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it as it goes along. I hope that Sarah gets rid of that Barrett guy soon, because he is just F-boy to the max, and I hope that she sees through him. I wish that CJ would have told her that he came up to her first, because she thinks that he didn't go to anybody else before her, and that is a lie. So I hope that she ends up seeing through his BS as the show goes on quickly. So that's what I have to say about that. I'm looking forward to see your thoughts on that show as the season goes on too, and that's what I have to say. Have a good night.
Well, thanks for the phone call. I appreciate that. Now, F-Boy Island, Sophia, there's no spoilers here. There is 3 women here. We've got Nakia in the center. She's my favorite so far. Sarah on the right, and then CJ on the left. Now, it's nothing against CJ, but to be quite honest, if there's 3 people that are trying to, to like find the good guys instead of the F boys. I think CJ's kind of like an F boy. Like, I think she likes an F boy. She's an F girl. CJ's an F girl. And I mean that with all due respect. She's living in LA. She's the influencer type. She's got a big following. She's kind of, I don't know, she's living that lifestyle, right? Whereas Sarah's like living in the Midwest. Sarah's the blonde right there. She's living in the Midwest. She's kind of got a small following. She's very like introverted and quiet. She needs a nice guy. Nakia in the center. She's a hairstylist and a singer-songwriter. I wish they would say she's a singer-songwriter and not the hairstylist part, but I think they're just trying to make them feel, I don't know, like normal people. But she's great too. After the first 3 episodes, we'll see. The show's definitely got legs. I hear it gets better. I've had a ton of contestants that are on the show reach out to me and have their publicists reach out to me. And honestly, Sarah says CJ is an F-boy. Yeah, am I not wrong? CJ's an F-boy. She's got a giant following. She knows what she's doing. But she kind of F-boyed the guys. You'll have to watch it to know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I opened the window and then the air conditioner is so loud. So I'm literally getting cooked alive in here. Let me do this. Let me play another voicemail and I'm going to shut that window. Here's a voicemail from Emily. I'm going to play Emily's voicemail.
Hey Dave, this is Emily from Illinois, and I was just calling to share my thoughts on tonight's episode. Not that they're very complete or anything, to be honest with you. I just thought that it was very frustrating all around to see Greg apparently so invested in Katie, but not to the point where he was willing to stick around, even though she gave him so many like little hints.
Oh, sorry. Just trying to open a door so I can get some air conditioning. By the way, I love your voice. It's very like sensual.
You're the one I'm gonna pick. Like, I'm gonna go with you. Just hang on. Like, all she was asking, as I thought, was for him to be patient so that she didn't have to disrupt what she was trying to do respectfully with the other gentleman and maintaining that I love you for the end. Like, she just wanted to save that. And I thought that was really respectful of her for the other contestants. And then also, I don't know, just to me it seems...
Oh, lost you again, right at the end there.
Really trying to preserve this like beautiful moment at the finale, and he just like didn't get it or something. He was just very, very impatient with her. But he also said like, she's the one. So if you're going to say that she's the one, aren't you going to wait for her? It was so bizarre to me. I don't even know. I could see where both of them were coming from at different points, but ultimately I just thought it was so frustrating and inconclusive. So I guess next week will be interesting. But anyways, love your channel. And thanks for letting us share our thoughts. Bye.
Emily, thank you so much. How bizarre. Did anyone think of that when she said so bizarre? That song, How Bizarre, How Bizarre. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Anyway, Nick Vial said, tonight's Bachelorette is the best TV I've seen in a long time. Do you guys agree? Was this good TV or was this like a dumpster fire? Was it a good like I said in my recap that'll be airing in the morning, give it up for these camera guys, right? The camera guys, when she ran out of the room, they're running around fences with their cameras. They're ready to go. You can't miss this. You got to be ready. Like when the last few weeks happened, they must have like double the crew ready to go, because if something goes down when it's not scheduled to, they call it an in the moment. You got to get out there and get that content. All right, voicemails are wide open. Feel free to call the voicemail line if you want. Voicemails are wide open. I'll stick around for a few more minutes. We'll hang out for a little bit. Everyone's in the chat. 337 people. You guys keep hitting the like button. I'll keep hanging out. All right, let's go to Jody in Pennsylvania. Jody in Pennsylvania. Jody. Jody. Hold on, I lost you there. I got a new part coming.
Hey, Dave, this is Jody calling from Pennsylvania. I just think that it's hilarious that Greg totally laid it on the line tonight and told Katie how much he loved her, didn't get the answer that he wanted, and was like, that's it, I'm out of here. Like, that's literally what happened. Was like, I love you so much, I want to marry you, told his family and everything, was all emotional. And literally the minute that he didn't get the response that he wanted was like, fuck you, I take it back, I'm out of here. It was like a tantrum. Like and I think Katie was blindsided, like, what do you need, Greg?
he was like a little child.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was absolutely obscene. He like just wanted to take it all back just because she didn't give him exactly what he wanted. That's not love. That is like the furthest thing from love. Somebody doesn't give you the exact thing that you want at that moment, and you're like, okay, F you, bye. No, I don't think so. All right. Bye.
Thank you, Jody. Bye. Yeah, I mean, hey, you're right. How can you say you love someone so much and then the first speed bump, you're like, whoa, I don't do speed bumps. I loved you on a flat road. We don't do speed bumps. Let me know. All right, a couple more voicemails. Ooh, this is a long one. Let's see if this is any good. It's a little long for us.
Hi, this is Nancy from Texas. You know, I was so tired tonight after watching The Bachelorette. I was just going to go to bed, and then I started listening to your podcast, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to call. And I'm in the middle of the boonies, and I have no cell service, so I had to drive up the road. So I hope this call goes through. Anyway, first of all, Justin, poor guy, he just doesn't have a chance. And I really don't understand how he made it this far. But anyway, I think she really likes Blake. I wasn't that crazy about Blake, but I really like his mom. I like his family. The family seems really healthy, and she's clearly really into Blake. And I think they could be a good match. That's a good family there, a good family relationship, and that is important. As far as Greg, you know, I have mixed feelings about Greg. I really liked him at first, and then I heard, you know, negative things about him, and then after that, I felt like he wasn't very genuine. But I don't know if that's true. He could be a perfectly fine guy. This show has got to be hard to go on, and so I can empathize where you know, he's really struggling. I would never do anything like that, so I can understand. He was he acting tonight? I mean, who knows?
Nah. Oh, lost you there. Sorry. You drove all the way for the phone.
The doubt that he really loves Katie, and he was just pouring his heart out to her. And, you know, she's in a really tough spot, and I'm sure it was just difficult to process everything. And like somebody said, you know, Michael A. just left recently, and she does have feelings for Blake. So it's really complicated. It would have been really nice if he could have understood that. But like other people have said, and I really feel like he's still grieving his dad. It's huge loss. And I think a lot of this is tied up with that. So, yes, he behaved immaturely, but I've been that way before. I've obsessed on things. I've ruminated. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And they probably just, if they couldn't get through this, then maybe that's just a sign that the relationship wasn't meant to be. I don't think either of them are bad. I'm not going to pin either one of them as a villain. They both they're in a hard position. They did their best in the moment. You know, we all learn and we all grow, and, you know, it's just the way it is. I don't think he's necessarily some horrible gaslighter, even though he could have handled it better. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm always rambling when I call in, but that's what I've got to say. Good night.
Look at that. She ends right on the 2 minute and 59 second mark. By the way, I love the idea of someone living in the boonies in Texas driving down some dirt road to find that one, payphone underneath the lamp, and they're just like putting quarters in the machine and like calling it. I know it's not the 1950s, but anyway, thank you. So I had to play your voicemail. I mean, you had to go drive to make a phone call. How kind of you. Thank you so much for the call. Yeah. Oh, I just lost a light. Could you see that? I just lost a light. That means, oh boy, yeah, these lights overheat sometimes. I might lose this camera soon, so we might wrap this up shortly. I mean, look, I don't think he's an evil guy. I don't think Greg's an evil guy. Did his own issues do some damage to somebody else? Absolutely. But I don't think his intentions were evil. Through his own self-preservation, as Susan had mentioned, through his own loss of his dad, maybe trying to control the narrative so he doesn't put himself in a scenario where he loses another loved one. You know, what he did wasn't right. It wasn't. Someone said before, if I could describe this episode in one word, what would I use? And the word is miscommunication. there was a lot left on the table. But Katie showed up. Katie showed up after the miscommunication to make it right. You know, so regardless if she wasn't there earlier, she showed up to make it right. She didn't double down and say, "You're right, I'm not going to tell you I like you." She was like, "Hey, idiot, come on, are you kidding me? You're the guy. I've told your parents, like, you're the guy." And at that point, he couldn't live in the moment. You know, that's part of the ego. It doesn't live in the moment. It lives in like, oh yeah, but that one time it's like, you know what I mean? Like that's part of the problem with the ego. All right, let's go to Joshua Tree, California. Kim Duncan, you're up.
Hey there, it's Kim Duncan from Joshua Tree, California. I think tonight was a bit of a mess. I think he was kind of harboring from when he saw them, Blake and her kissing. So, you know, he was already messed up, and I think the producers probably did that. And then at the end, when they were doing like pictures of them, like that was weird. Like in memory of, I don't know. I've never seen them do that before. But I think she dodged a bullet. Just my opinion. Love you guys.
Kim in
Bye.
Joshua Tree, thank you so much. Yes, Sarah mentioned it. The eulogy at the end of the episode was so creepy. Dave Neal pointed out they ripped you off. You're damn right they ripped me off. Jess said, I screamed, flip off at my TV when they did the montage. The question is, were the producers thinking that this montage was going to make people want to root for Greg to be the next Bachelor? Did they watch something we didn't watch? What was the deal with the montage? It was insulting. You know, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, you know, to be honest, you know, because the tone of the show, like with my channel, when I do the eulogy, I haven't done it for this season, but last season I was doing eulogies. Maybe I'll do one for Greg. I mean, at this point, I feel like now I'm ripping them off. But the idea when I would do it is I'd play like Dust in the Wind, you know, I'd play some song, and it would be kind of sad, and we'd sway to it and this and that. But, you know, it's like they just watched Greg brutally, you know, leave Katie after a really good thing, and then they want to do a eulogy. It's like, it's not like he died in a car accident here. Like, he walked away. He self-eliminated, really. I think Katie got the answer she needed out of that, but I don't think it was on the timeline that she had wanted. I'm out of voicemails. This is going to be your last chance to call in. You know, we got so many people in the chat right now that I want to hang out with you guys, so feel free to call in right now. Ileana says, not a speed bump. It was two people speaking two different love languages and a man just not feeling like there's even an attempt at adjusting to his for his sake. That's a deal breaker to me, not a bump. Yeah, you know, but, you know, a bump in the road. You know my point, though. Like, a bump in a road is like some adversity, right? The adversity is the bump in the road. So, deal breaker, bump in the road, either way, whatever you call it, you slow down for it, you get over it, and then you continue moving on. Where he saw a bump in the road and he just flipped his car and ran off the road. He didn't want to deal with the bump in the road. It was too much for his suspension. Is this a stupid analogy or what? Tara has a good point. What was with the Katie Greg montage at the end instead of a funny moment? Yeah, I mean, and again, you don't want to end with humor, but also it's like, I think you could have ended that. I think you could have ended that with that was more of a reminiscent montage, and I think the tone could have been less reminiscent. Let's go to a phone call here. Who do we have? Is this Sophia in Montreal?
Hi, Dave.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Keeping the ladies up late. That's what I'm doing.
That's what you do. I know. But it's okay. We have fun with you.
Yeah. So
today's so like dramatic.
How did you?
I'm
did the Canadians represent you well? Did Emily represent Canada well? I know it's a different part.
I'm a bad Canadian. Like, I don't watch hockey. I don't pour. Well, I enjoy maple syrup. But I don't keep it under my pillow, you know. I'm not pouring it on myself unless it's a special day, you know. If it's, you know, but we're not, you know. I don't know. I'm not your typical Canadian. I just, you know, Quebec is weird, but it was fun, you know. This whole drama is too much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Can you hear me right now? I'm just yelling from the other room.
Yeah.
My battery was exhausted, so I just had to flip it over. So I was actually
okay.
Oh, hold on. I just missed it again. Hold on. Now we're back here. It's live entertainment, folks. The battery died, so I had to put a new battery in, and I'm talking on the phone at the same time. We're just, Sophia, I'm just pulling all the strings. It's been,
I know.
You showed up kind of late. I could barely get this stream going in the first place. It was such a dumpster fire, but anyway, I digress. It really doesn't matter. Everyone's hanging out. Did I just lose you there? What was that noise? Can you hear me? Oh, I think I just lost you. Hello? Sophia, if you're out there, I just lost you. I don't know what happened. I'll go to another voicemail there. Call back if you can.
Hey, Dave. Going to keep this anonymous because we're going to talk about some personal stuff. But you mentioned grief and how Greg lost a loved one and how he was trying to protect himself from that. And I felt that. I've dealt with grief, and you're protecting yourself because you don't want to lose more people. So I think you're totally right about that. I think that Greg's not a bad guy. He's just he's experienced a lot of hurt. And obviously what he said was wrong, but none of us have been on this show, like The Bachelor. So we don't know how we react. And it's tough to, date someone who's dating two other people. So I feel for him. No, I'm not excusing him, but an explanation at least. So yeah, I hope he gets help he deserves. Because he's not a bad guy. He's just really hurting. That's not his fault. Bye.
Hey, thanks for the phone call. Yeah, I completely agree that. We're getting a phone call back now. Sophia's calling back here. I don't know what happened there. I apologize.
So good. These things happen. I saw that your camera went down, and I think my feed was behind. And I'm like, oh well, I guess I lost it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you shut the
end
system
of the
down.
night, Yeah, just breaking everything down.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're having fun. I got batteries and whistles. I have to close windows and open them. It's quite the setup we have over here. It's all held together by duct tape and hope.
Yeah, well, that's the best way to do things sometimes.
Yeah. So what's your no spoilers here, but have you dated a guy like Greg, or are you sort of apologetic to him? What's your vibe?
Well, here's the thing. I get the thing is I've dated some jerks in my life, but they don't remind me of Greg. I feel like the people, they've been much worse than that. I've had some manipulators and some people who are really going to do some mean things to you and really treat you bad. And you want to hear bad things, being treated mean. When people are mean, they will say mean things. Women do it too. We do it all the time. We know how to get you. We're going to get to that point with a weak spot, So it's we do it too. Everyone does it when they're fighting. No one says smart things. No one's thinking clearly.
Right.
So I get it from his point of view, but I also I get it from Katie's point of view. This is a messed up situation. He has to see her with other men going on dates, I'm sure the producers set that up. And then he's trying to be vulnerable at the same time. And then she's in a place where she's well, I still have some guys left. I don't want to say anything. I want to be true to the show. But then this is also my life, and that's the way he feels too. He's this is my life. This is my show. That's why I think he flipped out. He just lost it. So
yeah, he should.
I don't know. I felt for him.
He certainly did lose it. And, it brings up those moments in our life when we ruminate. And, there's a link here, and I'm not an expert. There's an ADHD. There's a link that some people have when they obsess over things. And what you notice in the show is they don't have their social media. They don't have their cell phones. They can't just call their buddy or go to work. So whenever you don't have anything else going on, you have the greater ability to ruminate over negative thoughts. And it seems like from the place he went, from how the night ended on that hometown, it ended bad. But then by the time he eventually went to go see Katie and break up with her, it went from bad to worse. And it's what went on in your brain to go from bad to worse? And it's
that's the thing. He's just sitting there stirring, going through things in his head, thinking about what she may have told him. Oh, you're going to be number two, or you're leading up. And then he's well, but I saw her the other day. And he's just building and building and building throughout all this time that by the time he sees her, he probably went there with an intention to maybe try to fix things. but in his head, it was already like too little, too late, you know? And in her, she also doesn't know what to do. Like, she's in a tough situation too, you know? So it's like, I feel for both of them, and I don't think either of them are the villain necessarily. I just think that it's The Bachelor, and there's like a 2% success rate, and this is a reality TV show. What do you expect? Like, you know?
I expect love. I want love. You
want to know where the love happens? The love happens in paradise.
That's true.
And I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because in paradise, that is where they test the love. So you're going to go there and you're going to be like, oh, I like this person. This was someone I wanted to see here. And then your number one comes out 2 weeks later. Now you're being put to the test. You're both being put to the test. You're like, no, I still want to be with this person. Now his number one comes out. So it's like, it's really putting people on the edge and testing it. You think these guys care about Katie because, you know what, she's the only one there. You know, there's not like there's competition.
You know,
in paradise, they really get to spend time together too.
I was going to say the same thing. Competition in paradise, you don't go crazy if like there's one person not giving you time, you back away, you go to somebody else. Your eggs aren't all in one basket. Absolutely. Hey, I gotta let you go because I gotta start wrapping this up, and the voicemails keep piling in.
All right. Well, you have a good night, and good night to everyone, and shout out to all my girls and guys out there.
As always, thank you for the call. Always appreciate your opinion.
All right. Take care, Dave.
Good night. Bye. Oh, right here. And Tasha, I just heard you come in. Tasha, are you in there? I just wanted to share this photo you just posted. Can I share it? I just saw you post on Instagram. Oh, yeah? Do you want to come on here? Want to say hi to people? Tasha's reel is up. Lady, oh, you're naked. Tasha's naked. They can see you. I got the mirror on. Everyone look through the can right here. You can see Tasha's cans. Tasha, I wanted to show everyone this. So you can probably, I don't know, maybe you can see from. I'm going to open this up so Tasha can see there. There it is. So we've got that. Actually, now I can't see it because I need that desktop. But this is Natasha Parker, right? Of course, we covered Natasha Parker here. Thank you for that. And Tasha's just off camera, but she got naked. The second we finish recording Tasha's take, she just starts taking clothes off and throwing them in all directions. She's got her silk bonnet on and her granny panties or granny thong. We'll call it a seamless thong? Does granny's? My granny doesn't have that thong. Not with that ass. I'll tell you that. Should we do one more? Why don't we do one more? Let's do another one. No. What? Just throw me another drink. You know what? Now, yeah, one more drink. Why not? So Natasha Parker's got this in paradise. Now my Tasha. Thank you so much right there. Oh, it's a beer. Yeah. None of those cold. Oh, there's no cold ones. All right, we'll do a. You got anything that's like a tonic? Yeah, give me one of those Truly things, please. Oh, we must. Middle rack in the left. Anyway, I'm rewarding you guys with more time because y'all are hanging out and having a good time out there. 343 people. So anyway, Natasha Parker shows up with these cool pants. Hey, I'll take a seltzer, sure. What kind of seltzer is this? Mango? Oh, it's an orange seltzer. Peach pear by Michelob. Oh, Michelob Ultra. Boy, they really should be paying me for this. But Michelob Ultra makes one of the best seltzers. The peach pear, and then they have a cucumber, which, believe it or not, it's really good. So anyway, I wanted to show Tasha's post. So here's my Tasha wearing the same pants, right? So not to say we're in competition of who wore it best. Natasha Parker looks adorable there. And of course, as I shared earlier, these are photos that we took ourselves through the app on our phone. So you're able to stand there, set up the app on the phone, which shows the view of the camera, press the shutter, and it'll go on like a 3-second or 5-second delay, and then you hide the phone and you take the photo there. So anyway, here's a photo of us at our second of 3 locations in Belize. But if anyone wants to go to Tasha's page, it's always helpful to leave a nice comment and like. Oh, I see Franny left a comment. Thank you. How sweet is Franny? Now, Franny's the marriage therapist counselor who lives in Marina. We got to figure a way to get her on the show here. I'd love to. It would be so much better. And she's the one who does the hiking around town. She's in the hiking group, which once Tasha heals, we'll get out there. But she's supporting your Instagram. So big shout out to Franny for all the support. And it's great for an episode like this to share all of their thoughts and opinions. I mean, do you want to share what you thought about Greg? Do you want to share? I mean, hold on a second. I'll just give you this mic off camera here. I got this mic set up right here. So if you just want to take that mic, just go take that mic. You're off camera. Just take the mic. It's all right. Well, just tell me what your thoughts are, Tasha.
Well, to be honest, I didn't have a whole lot of thoughts because I was busy doing outfits.
Oh, I hit the national anthem when you said that. I was like, hold on. All right, keep it going. The national anthem's on. All right, it's off. Go for it.
No, I was only half listening, but it was kind of disturbing to listen to because you're watching this guy just totally self-sabotage. And I think I heard what you were saying just a moment ago.
The front of it. Yeah, like right there. Yeah, that's perfect. Talking to that part. No, it's good, but that's just where it goes.
About.
Oh, that sounds good. Oh, shoot. The hell. Oh, look at Tasha's laughing at me. Oh, I got it on my gear. Come on. Oh, honey, I'm gonna need some help.
All right.
We're gonna need at least oh boy, like a 10. Sorry, honey. We just got seltzer in the studio. I've never spilt on this before, and then I go to make fun of Tasha and I spill on my mixer. I'm not drunk, folks. It's a state of mind. I just spilt a good. You saw that, right? I just opened it. Hold on, now I got to go to the new. I just opened the Michelob. I haven't even had a drink yet. Thank you so much. I was looking at my naked fiance over here. What a mess this is. Oh boy. Oh, what can you do? Anyway, do you want to finish your? I would appreciate.
I really didn't have a thought. You put me on the spot.
Is this gonna get all sticky?
And I had no thoughts.
Like the sugar from this is gonna get all sticky.
You're gonna need to wipe it down.
Yeah, well, I can't wipe it down and talk to people.
When
It's
you're
gonna be
done.
making all these national anthem noises. All right, this is why you spend $1,000 on a nice thing. Yeah, it sounds fine. All right, so sorry, Tasha. Clearly, I didn't intend to spill on my own gear here. But anyhow.
He sounded gross. He sounded pretty gross. Like he was being manipulative, and I've heard a lot of people say the words gaslighting. He reminded me a lot of who was the guy from
Luke P?
Yes.
That's always Luke P. He was kind of toxic. Luke P? Yeah, that's the one.
Yes. On what was the girl's name?
Hannah Brown. I still defend Luke P though, because we don't know how the full convo went.
But I just reposted on my stories a meme that was like when she was like, I don't owe you anything. Like that's what Katie should have been shouting. I don't owe you anything. He kept saying, you owe me this. You owe me this. She doesn't owe him anything at all.
Yeah.
She had given him plenty of validation in other ways if he had just gotten out of his own head enough to listen. But I think this was maybe purposeful sabotage or not purposeful self-sabotage. We don't know, but I'm not sad to see him go.
Now, do you think he's abusive? People are calling him abusive.
I didn't, honey, I wasn't watching. I was too busy frantically putting dupes on my blog.
That's how our Monday nights are.
Trying to get some work done.
Frantic is the best way to describe our Monday nights.
So I was really only half listening.
I'm cooking Chinese food on the commercial breaks. We're just trying to get through the night. But can you believe that? I was struggling and we got a $100 donation and then a $50 and a $25. How kind are these people to us?
I just think that he, it was... What did he want? What did he think was going to happen? I asked on the Discord, do we think that in his previous relationships, he was in one of those where people, every time they fight, they break up, but it's, fake. They don't actually break up. They just
Tasha, that's you.
Shut up. No, but really.
Tasha's I'm over you. I go, I know, it's a Tuesday. What do you want? We'll see you tomorrow. I'll get some Chinese.
No, but really, did he think, you can't walk that one back on The Bachelor. When you say you're leaving, you're gone.
No, I don't think, people were saying he was acting. I don't think he was acting. I think
I just think he, I don't think he really fully thought it through. If he felt the way about Katie that he was claiming he felt, then he would have made more of an effort to work through his own feelings or to work through this problem together. Sure. But he didn't make any effort at all. He just started sabotaging and throwing bombs. And it was really disturbing to listen to.
Oh, no, absolutely. But imagine if you can only love somebody this amount. This is your heart. You can love somebody this amount, but you've got this ego that's even bigger. And the walls of the ego are the fortress. And they say, we're not going to let that love in. You tried to love her. It's like when I said I love you. I shared the story. I said I loved you. I said I don't need you to say it back to me. If you're not there yet, fine. You could have interrupted me and be like, no, Dave, I do love you. But you didn't. You didn't say it back. And that was fine. You said it back a few 2 weeks later, maybe during a session of Harrison's being exchanged, something like that. Who knows? You're looking at me. You're
just making that up.
No, that's how it happened. You were caught in the moment of a sweetly fantasy, and that's fine, folks. That's fine, Tasha. That's how. What are you looking at me for? That's what you did. But the point is that there have been times when I've been very needy, and in the moment it's not healthy, because when I get needy, you put your walls up because you've had your own needy, abusive sort of situations before, as we've talked about on the podcast. So I've had to learn, all right, deal with my stuff on my own. And when we can meet together to talk about it, when we're not heightened in a state of mind where we're at the flared limbics, then we can talk about it. And then afterwards I can be like, this is why I freaked out. I want you to know it's because of X, Y, and Z. And then you can go, oh my gosh, I didn't even, half the time I'm panicking about something you don't even know. You're just oblivious to it because, maybe I don't show it. You've never even seen me drunk before, so clearly I don't show it to you. I mean, I just spilt this after one beer, so maybe that was it. But anyway, I don't want to keep you, Tasha. You look like she's been waiting for me. Why don't you just put that on the ground? Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the voice of Tasha Marie Courtney. You can go listen to her. You can go check her out on the Instagram at Tasha Courtney. Oh, we just lost our second light. So I'm down 2 lights. I don't even think you guys can tell, but I lost my nice side lighting. So now you're going to get cruel lighted Dave. So let's get, hold on one second here. I'm just trying to, it's getting kind of late, so I need to move my monitor closer because I'm losing my eyesight. But then again, I've been staring into lights all day, so it's very easy for me to just kind of not be able to see what I'm looking at here. So anyway, let's get to a few more voicemails here if we can. See what we got for voicemails. You guys have been fantastic. The lines are open. If you do want to leave a voicemail, now is your shot.
Hi, I was just wondering if anybody has thought about if Greg had been a female contestant on a Bachelor season with a male lead and she had acted the way he did, I think she would be getting called all sorts of names and getting a lot more hate and not be getting a pass by as many people as I think Greg is. Just a perspective point that I think maybe we can all look at.
That's a very interesting hypothetical. I love to twist it around because, men and women collectively are different. Men can have a feminine energy and women can have masculine energy and things can be intertwined. But, there are a bunch of social norms that are different. So let's assume this is a Bachelor show and the woman can't get past that. Would we give more compassion to her? Well, it would be a scenario in which there is a power dynamic when the male is the one who's first of all, gaslighting, if that's what's happening, isn't good in either direction. But if a man is manipulating a woman, there could be a tendency for an abuse to come from that would be scary. Now, if a lady abuses a guy, that's hard pass wrong. But the guy isn't gonna, feel trapped in a way where his life is threatened. Most abuse happens, obviously in the direction of, in a toxic situation due to control and this and that. But I don't want to get too far into it. But it is an interesting question. Thank you for the voicemail. When it comes to, but Christine says I have a smart fiance, Dave. Well, of course. Why? Wouldn't settle for some dodo, although the dodo bird is a smart bird. But yeah. So anyway, yeah. So the question that you're sort of bringing up is a good one. How would we have dealt with Greg if he was a girl, a lady, and he was being needy? Now, in most cases on The Bachelor, when there's a needy female, I'll put it this way. Some of the best advice I ever got from my mom was that don't be needy, okay? Because there's nothing attractive about neediness. Neediness is when you can't fill what you need on your own and you have to leech it from others, right? So it makes sense that Greg is needy because he's in a scenario where he has no control. So when you take the control away, you start to grasp at straws. So it doesn't make it right, but the show's printing money. The show knows exactly what they're doing, and they're able, they're able to capitalize on heightened situations where they put them in these pressure cooker situations. And again, like I said, it doesn't mean Greg wouldn't have been this way in a normal situation, but there's been a lot of emails and from past people that said, I dated Greg, or he dated my best friend and he was manipulative, or he was toxic, or this or that. And it's like, I hear that. I don't report on a lot of it because, what is that? Like, you got to know, like, unfortunately, people start rumors, and if you can't sort of validate something, then you try not to repeat it. I get that for every contestant. I get that from Michelle's contestants. Someone messaged me the other day saying, my friend says that this guy's gay and he's only going on. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this info? It's this pure gossip at that point. But of course, with Greg, he kind of lived up to some of those rumors that he was going to be like a guy who had some tendencies that would bring out the worst in him, and that's too bad. King for a Day said, I'm just joining into this chat and I'm confused. I feel bad, but then I feel like production is shady AF. Switch to me relating to both sides. OMG, IDK. I like the language there. Are we just going to move to an internet language where we say OMG, IDK, IDGAF? I'm cool with that. IDGAF. Hit that like button or not. IDGAF. Yeah, of course production is guilty for putting Greg on the balcony when the hockey match came through. Absolutely. They know what they're doing. They're printing money. Sarah said, I agreed when Tasha said that, back and forth, wanting her to chase him. Franny said, I'd love to know his relationship history. Well, there's been some things reported on his history, but, he's a guy who's, I don't know if he's an athlete. I don't know what his deal is. Obviously, I'm not here to diagnose him. I'm not here to say, like, he's acting this way because his dad died or whatever the case may be. But clearly, as we've all said, hurt people. So clearly, he's not someone you'd want to give the keys to your emotions. You wouldn't want to give him the keys to your well-being. But at the same time, could there be a scenario where he does a lot of work on himself and becomes the great version of Greg Grippo? Yeah, that can happen. I've got faith in that. What do you guys think? Let's see here. I've got another voicemail from Bruce. Is this a male? We have a male voicemail. It's a quick one.
Dave, this is Bruce from Oregon. If you could do one thing, just hook me up, figure out where I can get one of those inflatable moose rides. Thank you so much.
Wasn't that fun? The inflatable moose rides. Bruce from Oregon. Clearly, that's probably manufactured by one person. They had the inflatable moose ride, and I bet you they were able to... You know what? It makes you wonder, do you think they took the mechanical bull and then they custom made the moose? Because then afterwards, they did the same thing with the wave. And it's like, is that the same animatronic thing? I don't know. Either way, tons of fun. So Katie, she would fall off it and then make out with the guy. I mean, hey, who's stopping them? You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. All right, last call for voicemails, folks. Last call for voicemails. Trying to get through the comments here. Have a lot of great comments. Thank you guys all so much for being so supportive. This is how I kind of knew this season was going to go this way. We had a sort of lull. We had a mid-season lull, as happens, and then the drama hits the fan. As far as this season being one of the most dramatic, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's going to go. Again, no spoilers here. It appears that Greg is done with. Although, is he? Will they, he has left. And again, I don't know this. He has left, but you know how it is. They still want to milk this teat until it until it can be milked no more. So, it makes you wonder how much they have left in the can here for the Greg story. Is he completely done or not? Here we go. Let's go to this next voicemail here. Something meta.
Hi, Dave. It's kind of meta because I'm leaving you a voicemail while watching your live on The Bachelorette. But I was calling just to comment on the whole Greg and Katie situation.
Please.
Because I am 100% Team Katie. A lot of people are like, oh, she didn't give him a good response. And that may be true, but editing, she might have said a lot more in that moment. And it's very, very possible that it could have been edited out. So the fact that people aren't even giving that a possibility is really bothersome. And two, even after she heard that she hurt Greg in that way, Katie was very quick to apologize and say she was sorry.
Bingo.
And express where she was coming from. And Greg was not having it. So I don't necessarily think Greg has the right to continue being mad when she has expressed her, her feelings about the situation. And I agree, that she shouldn't say I love you to more than one person. Ben Higgins did that on his season and got crucified. So I just don't know why people don't respect women who have boundaries. And I'm really proud of Katie for having that boundary and not wavering on it. Okay, this is already too long, but hope to hear more of your videos and keep doing great content. Bye.
Thank you so much. It wasn't too long. It was the perfect length. Speaking of Fantasy Suite and the perfect length, what do you guys think moving forward? Will Justin get a Fantasy Suite? Will Justin and Blake get a Fantasy Suite? There's got to be some, I don't know if you guys saw the facial recognition video I made today from that facial recognition expert, but the expert says that Justin has the best features on his face to be compatible with Katie as far as his features as a lover. The video is fascinating. This lady talked about her that Blake's jawline made him a good lover too. I don't know. We'll have to see. My thought was to make a fantasy suite. Well, let me pitch this idea by you guys. Let me see if I can. Would you guys be down for this idea? Now, hold on a second. I have to find this here. My thought was, what if we took the fantasy suite? Now, hold on. Let me just find this here. So, here's my idea. All right, we'll click on this here. You guys with me? You guys with me for this idea? Brilliant idea. Me, OnlyFans for Fantasy Suite. We'll call it Only Fantasy Suite. Then the Shark Tank investors blank. And then someone responded, and for that reason, I'm out. I don't know. I thought that was a good idea. OnlyFans. How much money? I'd pool together some money just to have a security camera video of Katie and Blake, just to see, I don't know how things go down. All right, folks, just saying, which couple, here's a question for you guys in the comment section here. Which couple would you most likely want to see in the Fantasy Suite? Whether it be a couple that's still together or not together, like a JoJo or a Caitlin Bristowe and Nick Vite. Like, who can you? Nicole said she's going to go take a shot. Please have a shot for me. Have a shot at love. Mike says, Dave, WTF? I think this is a good question to ask. Who is your who are you invested in? Knowing what the behind the scenes is like. Let me know. Let's see if we have any more voicemails. I don't know. I thought that was a good question to ask. Is that creepy of me? Because if you look at I'm trying to think of a recent season, like Hannah Brown and Tyler. Tyler was the one in his book who basically said no to Hannah Brown. He was basically saying she wanted to, be the H, and he was like, not going to happen. So, it's interesting how it all works out. Let's see if we have any comments here regarding what they might. Sarah Smatic said, Dave, you nasty. Laugh, laugh, laugh. All right, hey, is that... Sophia said, didn't they do this with the real world? Just security cam, black and white footage, just one camera up in the corner. I'm saying with their own permission. It'd be like only Fantasy Suite. Cora said, it's an idea, but I don't think the lead would want that. That's the one time they get to have, of course. I say it as a joke. Of course they're not going to want it. Jess says, I don't need to see any fantasy suites. Well, I don't know. You don't think you'd peek? The idea is if the windows was say you're walking back to your hotel. Okay, yeah, this is where I get good with my hypothetical. Say you're walking back to your hotel room. You're on vacation and the blinds are open and it's they're filming Bachelor and there's a fantasy suite happening. You mean to tell me you wouldn't look I'm not saying you walk into the window and look, but you're walking by and the blinds are open. You know, you wouldn't look and say, oh my gosh, JoJo and so or B&H's. You know, I don't know. Mike says it's a good entrepreneurship. Maybe, I don't know. Caitlin, okay. So Sarah's okay. All right, we have a taker. Sarah says Caitlin Bristow and Nick Vial getting it on. All right, there you go. That's one. Annie Banana says that's a little creepy, Dave. Well, I mean, what do you expect? Come on, it's a creepy question. But the show, it's not like, what? All right, so they close the door on the fantasy suite. They take the video of the door clicking, and then they cut to the fire hose going off or whatever metaphor they have, and then we're left to our own imagination. All I'm saying is, maybe the door's open a crack. You know what I mean? Travis says none of them. Back in my day, people would watch them anytime by paying on less. So Sophia said, back in my day, don't make us feel old, Sophia. Trying to read these comments. Cora wouldn't want to. Oh, Sarah Smatic said, I missed your second voicemail. Tell me your area code and I'll try to find it. There was a lot. Is it this New York one? You might be the New York one. Let's play your voicemail right here. This might be you.
This is Michaela in New York again.
Oh, Michaela.
I just wanted to call back in because I think it's interesting how everybody mentions Greg with his dad having died and how that was upsetting for him and laying his heart out on the line. But my dad died before I was born, and anytime I hear somebody talk about their dad having passed, it's super triggering for me, and I often shut down. And as someone who also lost their dad, Katie, maybe she was just overwhelmed with emotions. I mean, I already said that in the first one, but I just don't think it's fair, especially because how he never gave her a chance and just kind of walked away and just treated the situation really poorly. But again, I hope that he has a much better time afterwards. And we didn't see everything that went. Some things that really did make him a bigger villain than Thomas. So, yeah, it kind of just sucks for all of them. And I hope that it doesn't, in hindsight, seeing this, issues on any of the relationship that she might be in now, because she really did make it seem like she was hoping he proposed. Or maybe he does end up being the winner and they just set us all for a doozy there. Anyway, again, have a great one, guys. Bye.
Thank you for the voicemail. I hope this is who just commented. I hope I got to the right one there. Yeah, I will say it's like, it's complicated because, it's when there's so many layers, like, trauma bonding, all these terms, you go like, I don't even know. Yeah. Have I trauma bonded? Like, oh yeah. Like, who knows? Who knows? Regine wants the binoculars. She said she's going to you're going to be across the hotel room going like, I see the, all right. So don't go calling me a creep when you guys, Jess goes, oh yeah, I'd walk by, what are you going to do? I used to live in this house in Brooklyn, and my roommates would bang all the time. He was like a rock star, and his girlfriend was an artist. And they lived, like, it was a 3-bedroom, and no one lived in the middle bedroom. So we were on opposite sides of the building, and I could still hear them bang. And I'd be like, and I was going through a bad breakup, and I'd be sitting there in bed just like sad. And then I could just hear them banging 2 doors down, and I'd be like, come on, guys. You know what I mean? I'm like, who needs love? Love sucks. And then she's like, love me, bitch. You're like, whoa, geez, what can you do? Oh boy. If you live in New York, you become, I think, very okay with I don't want to say public displays of affection, but I think you realize like you're not always gonna have private time, I think, when you live in New York City. So Michaela from New York, 518. So did I just play yours? I think I played yours, right? I want to make sure I got. All right. So I got to your voicemail, and let's see if there's any others I missed. No, I think I got to every other voicemail. So as soon as I'm done with my drink here, we'll be done. Oh, we have Vicky in California. Let's play Vicky in California.
This is Vicky from California. I really was amazed watching the show tonight. Greg knew what he was getting into when he signed up for this show. Katie, I thought, is being really a stand-up person by not saying I love you to more guys than the one gentleman that she wants to end with and be proposed to by. So he knew that. We all know that. And of course it gets difficult at the end. And she gave him as much information as she could to let him know that he was in a good spot. She really is falling for him without actually saying the words. So I think he's very immature. I hope he doesn't end up coming back into the show because he's not ready. He is not ready for this kind of relationship. And maybe he is manipulative, but even if he's not, he's way too immature to be with anyone in a lasting relationship at this point. Thanks.
Thank you so much for the phone call, Vicky. I appreciate that. Annie says, isn't trauma bonding when you're abusive to someone and then they are bonded to you? I'm not an expert. I thought trauma bonding was when like two people with dads that passed away cope together and then they're bonded by their trauma. I could be wrong. And of course, Mike Luke says, that is exactly what I am going through right now, Dave. Well, I'm sorry if you're going through a breakup, Mike Luke. You know how it is. You're going through a breakup. Take that time to work on yourself, get fit, get in shape, clear that mind, go on nice long runs, go to a concert by yourself. Just take that time to really embrace who you are, and then that'll just up your energy, your equity, your Mike Luke abilities. And when the right person comes around, they're going to go, I like that guy. He looks like he's having fun. And then, of course, you invite me to the wedding. That's how it works, folks. Mike Luke there. They say never trust a guy with two first names, but I'm Dave Neal, so what do I know? All right. Annie says, I feel like a lot of people are using trauma bonding incorrectly to assume it means you're bonding over shared trauma. Well, that's what I thought it means. Let's Google, what does, I'm spelling everything wrong. Does trauma bonding mean? I just can't reach the, all right, here we go. Let's go to the medical news today. You know me, I love getting my info from medical news today. Trauma bonding is a psychological response to abuse. It occurs when the abused person forms an unhealthy bond with the person who abuses them. Okay, you are correct. I was wrong. I have been saying what trauma bonding is. Appreciate that. Now, so trauma bonding sounds like Stockholm syndrome. Is that, let me look that up. Is trauma bonding Stockholm syndrome? Is trauma bonding Stockholm? Okay. I don't know. Is it a dumb question? Maybe. Here we go. Is trauma bonding Stockholm syndrome? The term trauma bond is also known, aka Stockholm syndrome. It describes a deep bond which forms between a victim and their abuser. Victims of abuse often develop a strong sense of loyalty towards their abuser, despite the fact that the bond is damaging to them. Now, I actually used to have a boss that I have wondered whether or not I think fondly of them due to trauma bonding, due to Stockholm syndrome, because they were verbally abusive, I would say, in ways where, it was a real hell of a situation. But I also see them having struggled to find their own happiness, and I found my happiness. So I don't think I've got trauma there. But sometimes I will see the best in somebody who's like a real jerk to me, and I'm like, maybe that is like some weird form of Stockholm syndrome. So Jess says trauma bonding is when you bond because of the traumas you share. But Jess, I think, and now listen, sometimes definitions of things shift because of the perception of what a definition is. Like language is all about saying certain words and then they conjure up a meaning, right? So if everyone believes trauma bonding is when you bond because of traumas you share, maybe that's going to be a new definition of it. I don't know. I'm not a medical definition writer. But according to this, the term trauma bond is also known. It describes a deep bond which forms between a victim and their abuser. So again, I wouldn't say there's trauma bonding happening with Katie and Greg because he wasn't really verbally abusive at all until the end. You know what I mean? Whereas their bond came from their shared sort of daddy issues, their shared issues they had over their losses. So again, there's probably people that have already corrected this here in the comment section. So let me just get back to normal. Hey, Regine, where are you tuning in from over there? Are you on the East Coast? Let me know what side of the world you're on. Franny says, that's why I think we don't have enough information to judge the situation. Most of the times, the visible issue is not the real issue. There's a much deeper need that is not being met. Oh, Franny, you and your need for information, we're making snap judgments, Franny. I appreciate you, of course. Of course, the educated therapist here is telling us, yeah, we just don't know enough, which you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We just don't know enough. I guess the hope would be that we take Greg's pain and we don't, I would say, hold him to a life sentence over it. And we hope that maybe Greg gets the help that he needs, even if it's being pushed in the right direction. As we know with Matt James, he posted that tweet, I guess I got to go see a therapist, you know what I mean? Which was like, hey, he got the message. I don't think Greg's going to do some harm to himself. But then again, it has been a cycle. But again, you get the same cycle of events, you get the same cycle of trauma, the same cycle of abuse until you recognize it and adjust. And if he wasn't able to adjust that in past relationships, something as traumatic as being on national TV, it might convince Greg to look inwards and figure himself out. Okay, so maybe that's the case. Let's get back here to some more. Look at that. I got a nice compliment there from Sarah. Thank you so much. I appreciate that's worth more than gold to me. Paula says, would they bring Michael A back as the surprise? And I'm a loyal Canadian fan. They won't bring him back for Katie's season. I mean, would they? Would they bring Michael A back? He gets to go. I mean, I don't hear anything about this spoiler, but it's like, if you're a producer on the show and Greg leaves and there's only 2 guys left, you might go, hey, Michael, we'll fly you back first class. Bring your son. Bring the stroller. Bring the maid. Bring, whatever you need to do. That's not a horrible theory. I don't think it's going to happen. But it would explain a lot of his comments now. Mike says, I'm invited to the wedding. Thank you. Do I get a +1? Can I bring Tasha to the wedding? Please let me know. Eliana said I used that incorrectly too. I meant to voice bond it over their shared drama, not that. My bad. Hey, no problem. Sage says yes, Dave, with the live Googling. Yeah, I mean, hey, no worries. We make mistakes and we correct ourselves. No one's better at doing that than me. I make mistakes all the time. I get accused of wild things and I have to Google things to go, did I say something off color I wasn't even aware of? And then in a lot of cases, people just, are ridiculous too. Combination of both. Certainly trauma bonding in the second sense is a thing. Codependency because of the bond they shared over their experience of loss. That's something too. Trauma bonding is a interesting way to explain Stockholm Syndrome. What's the origin of Stockholm Syndrome? Did it happen in Stockholm? Is that where it all began? Sophia says bonding over trauma, not necessarily a bad thing as long as you have more to connect than the trauma. Of course, absolutely. It might be the reason, if 2 people experience 9/11 together, it's like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? That's some heavy stuff. Hopefully their whole relationship wouldn't be about that, but that would be enough to stick people together, at least in the beginning, almost like 2 seeds that end up in the same pot. Sometimes I don't know what I'm saying, folks. I can't imagine how many people watch my thing and go, what is this guy all about? This guy's a nut. You know what I mean? Maya says their bonding reminded me of Chris and Crystal on Paradise, bonding over not having dads. It creates a strong connection, but doesn't always last. It's for sure a common denominator. You know what I mean? To bond over something similar like that. It's kind of like 2 artists bonding because they understand each other, or 2 salespeople bonding. But also it's nice to bond with people that have different experiences because then you can learn and grow from each other. It comes in different ways. I've been literally the whole night I've just been scrolling nonstop. You guys have been so amazing. Jess says it's almost 3:30 here, so it's way past my bedtime. Love you all. Sending everyone peaceful and positive vibes. Well, Jess, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much, Jess, for all your contributions to tonight's live stream. I will be wrapping this up. I've got maybe 10 more minutes left here. Bruce says, can you come back from Ohio? Come back where? Marissa is tuning in from Singapore. Good to see you in Singapore. Very nice there. Singapore. What a beautiful... Isn't Singapore like the most advanced place in the world right now, tech speaking, Singapore, is that what they say? Like the nicest healthcare, the best, I don't know. Am I right? Sunshine says, Jess, I know I'm not used to Dave being on this late. I kind of felt bad earlier. We got off to such a rough start with the internet, with my issues there, that I'm happy we were able to get through that. Tara said, how boring will the finale be? It looks like it will just be Blake trying to figure out if Katie is over Greg. Riveting. Well, Justin's still there. We still have Justin. We still have a fantasy suite. And we'll have the After the Final Rose, ATFR. And as it was announced, I'll have to make a video of this first thing in the morning. As it was announced today, we already knew this going in, but Caitlin and Tasha were announced as the co-hosts for Michelle's season, which, we already knew this, but it was officially announced. So there'll be more content to talk about there. I'm going to have a busy day tomorrow, I'll tell you that. Christine says, OMG, Katie just... Hold on a second. Let's get hold on. Is this like breaking news here? Let's get right into this. Hold on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. Christine Diaz says, OMG, Katie just shared a post on her story about gaslighting. Let's get right into this information right now. We're here late night on the live stream with information that Katie Thurston shared on her story about gaslighting. Let's go to Katie Thurston's story. She said, thank you for the virtual hugs. And then here it is, folks. Wow, 3 minutes ago. So you want to talk about gaslighting. Wow, let's go to her post right here. This is fascinating breaking news during the late night live stream. And here we go. So you want to talk about is a Instagram handle. Let's talk about gaslighting and how to fight it if you're experiencing it. Of course, Katie's referring to her experience with Greg. That's what it has to be, right, after the episode. So gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse or psychological manipulation involving distorting the truth in order to confuse or instill doubt in another person to the point they question their own sanity or reality. The origins. Let me just make this a little bigger here. The term gaslighting originates from a 1938 play called Gaslight, in which a husband leads his wife to believe she is insane to hide his true identity. The husband makes his wife go crazy and steal valuable jewels her family has hidden away. Part of his efforts include toying with their gas-powered lights so they flicker. He convinces her that she's imagining this, trying to drive her insane. By the end of the story, everyone questions the wife's sanity, including her. While the origins of gaslighting stem from a marriage situation, it's important to know that gaslighting can occur in any kind of relationship. How gaslighting works: lying. People who engage in gaslighting are habitual and pathological liars. They will blatantly lie to your face and never back down or change their stories, even when you call them out or provide proof of their deception. Lying is the cornerstone of their destructive behavior. Even when you know they are lying, they can be very convincing. In the end, you start to second guess yourself. Discrediting a gaslighter will spread rumors and gossip about you to others. They may pretend to be worried about you while subtly telling others that you seem emotionally unstable or crazy. Unfortunately, this tactic can be extremely effective, and many people tend to side with the abuser or bully without knowing the full story. Deflecting blame. When you ask a gaslighter a question or call them out for something they did or said, they may change the subject by asking a question instead of responding to the issue at hand. That's called like a whataboutism, right? We see that in politics. Like, well, what about Hillary? You get a lot. Well, what about the emails? It's like, all right, bro, chill. We're talking about healthcare. You know what I mean? All right, I digress. They may blatantly lie about the situation by saying something like, what are you talking about? You're making things up. That never happened. Minimizing, trivializing your emotions allows the gaslighter to gain power over you. They may say things like, calm down, you're overreacting, or why are you so sensitive? All of these statements minimize how you're feeling or what you're thinking and communicate that you are wrong. Shifting blame. Blame shifting is another common tactic of gaslighters. Every discussion you have is somehow twisted to where you are to blame for something that occurred. Even when you try to discuss how their behavior makes you feel, they are able to manipulate the conversation and ultimately end up blaming you. Denying wrongdoing. Bullies and abusers are notorious for denying that they did anything wrong. They do this to avoid taking responsibility for their actions, but it also leaves the victim of gaslighting confused and frustrated because there is no acknowledgement of the pain they feel. This denial also makes it very hard for the victim to move on or to heal from the abuse. How gaslighting works: using compassion as a weapon. Sometimes when called out or questioned, a gaslighter will use kind and loving words to try to smooth over the situation. They might say something like, "You know how much I love you. I would never hurt you on purpose." These words are what you want to hear, but they are not authentic, especially if the same behavior is repeated. Rewriting history. For instance, if your partner shoved you against a wall and you're discussing it later, they may twist the story in their favor. They may say you stumbled and they tried to steady you, which in turn caused you to fall into the wall. When this tactic is implemented enough, the gaslighter will eventually make the victim believe the rewrite. According to mental health professionals, gaslighters are most commonly narcissistic. Narcissistic personality disorder, NDP, yeah, you know me, comes with symptoms of grandiosity, no empathy for others, and an obsessive need for admiration. They think they're unique and gifted, which gives them a greater sense of self-esteem. In actuality, their self-esteem is fragile. They need others to think highly of them. They can't handle criticism or losing and are easily and deeply humiliated. How to fight gaslighting. The first step to protect yourself from gaslighting is to become the Bachelorette on the hit show Bachelorette. The first step is to recognize its presence. Once you can recognize that you're being manipulated, you can choose how you would like to proceed. Ideally, someone who is experiencing this kind of emotional abuse in a relationship would seek help and potentially leave. If you're experiencing gaslighting, here are some tips you can use to defend yourself. Don't take responsibility for the other person's actions. Don't sacrifice yourself to spare the other person's feelings. Remember your truth. Do not argue on their terms. Prioritize your safety. Remember, you are not alone. Gaslighting is a form of mental abuse. So anyway, you can reach out, text HOME to 741-741 to connect with a crisis counselor. So this was, someone said, "Can you send this to my dad?" How hilarious. This was liked by Katie Thurston. Now, this post was from April 8th, but as was mentioned, Katie Thurston just shared this on her Instagram story, but minutes ago, and then let's see if she posted anything else. So that was her last post. That might be one of those, like, post this online and then be done with it for the night. We'll have to see. Let's go back to that and see if there was anything else that refreshed there. Let me know in the comments section if Greg Grippo is gaslighting, why he was. Like, give me an excuse in the comment section, because I think it'll be productive for people to see the example put to light. You know what I mean? It's very hard for me to, like, gaslighting is a term that is a wide umbrella term. And of course, everyone in the comment section of tonight's live stream has talked about the fact that people use it so willy-nilly when it isn't, in fact, gaslighting, that the term's kind of, I don't want to say the term has been watered down, but it for sure is confusing to people. So I do want us to get a good handle of what gaslighting means so that if we spot it, we can talk about it. GJ said, "Excellent definition of gaslighting, spot on." Where is that posted? This is posted on Katie Thurston's Instagram, and it is also on the So You Want to Talk About It Instagram, at So You Want to Talk About It. Layla said, "Sad that this behavior is so common within families. Also at work, it is very common, and the gaslighter often gets promoted." Oh yeah, gaslighting from your boss? Oh yeah. So Sophia says she won't let it go. Well, there was room for learning, but if people don't think Greg is gaslighting here, I'd love for your explanation why in the comment section. Let me know. As always, it's complicated. I don't pretend to watch this and go, "Oh, he's gaslighting." I mean, because it's almost like this. And this is just an honest question I have. If the person doesn't know they're gaslighting, if the person truly believes what they're saying, is that still gaslighting? Or is gaslighting a intentional tactic used? Honest question. I don't have the answer for that. Sage says, "Why do you always put other people over me? The one time I go out with friends and miss his call." Okay, so that's a good example. So saying you always do something when it's a first time offense. Tell me you were gaslighted without telling me you were gaslighted. Yeah, GJ said, liked by Katie Thurston. Absolutely. When we're not even dating, maybe people either are gaslighters or not, and you would have to know Greg better to know if this was typical behavior from him. Oh, of course. I mean, I don't diagnose, at least I try not to diagnose any people with terms of gaslighting or this or that. I don't know. But obviously, there's going to be a ton of conversation about these different topics. I'm going to clip this video up probably for its own breaking news video first thing in the morning. Veronica says gaslighting isn't as broad. It's just that people use it as a blanket term. Now so many people dismiss the term because they hear it as a buzzword. Veronica, you hit the nail on the head. This term has been used by so many people. Oh, so-and-so's gaslighting. It's like, maybe they're sticking up for themselves. I'm not saying that's the case with Greg, but there are plenty of scenarios in which people are accused of gaslighting when it's like, we need to know what this term is so that it's not overly used and we can use it in the right term. And like, this is a great example of like people throwing terms out because it's one of the terms. Now, you know, like I said, I've been accused of gaslighting, and I'm like, I'm just telling you what the deal is. But, you know, could there be scenarios in which I was gaslighting and didn't know it? Yeah, of course. Yeah. We're trying to rewrite his, you know, you get in an argument like, honey, come on. No, I was literally 5 minutes away. You might have been 15 minutes away, you know, whatever the case might be. Molding a scenario to fit your point of view. If you're maybe highly defensive in an argument or whatever the case may be, I can totally understand that. With Greg, I still struggle. And again, doesn't mean it didn't exist, but I still struggle to see where Greg was gaslighting. I think he was unable to accept Katie's apology. He was unable to hear what she was saying. Like, hey, you're like a, you know, stick around, you know. I hear that he was ruminating, but ruminating isn't gaslighting. So I just wonder, you know, and it could be both too. I'm losing my voice here. If anyone's watching this afterwards on a clipped video, we're recording this on the Monday night live stream. We're almost 3 hours into the live stream. Nine videos made today. We're going out strong here. Let's see if anyone called in the voicemail here to talk about this gaslighting. This is a big deal that Katie posted this. Again, Katie doesn't shy away from educating her audience with her platform, but for her to post this right now after a very powerful episode goes to show that she, at the very least, wants people to be educated on what gaslighting actually is. Now, this, you know, she said, thank you for the virtual hugs tonight. So clearly she got a lot of love. Now, theoretically, she could be posting this so people understand that he wasn't gaslighting. Maybe the whole internet's calling him gaslighting Greg. I haven't been on Twitter to find out, but everyone's saying he's getting, tormented on Twitter here. So, Tara says, I'm glad Katie recognizes what it is and doesn't blame herself. Oh, for sure. I wouldn't see a scenario in which Katie would be blaming herself here. I mean, how nice of Katie to do everything from like getting down on her knees to talk to him. Like, she did everything you would do to like de-escalate a situation. Katie's very good at conflict, like at de-escalating here. He was the one interrupting her. Does that mean is interrupting gaslighting? No. Gaslighting is when you lie to someone. We just read a whole bunch of terms for it, so I'll still mess this up. But when you lie to someone to try make them not believe what actually went down, right? So, they can rewatch the footage. They can rewatch how it all went down, and if Greg misremembers something and he tries to place that onto Katie, that's gaslighting, right? Rakaneda says he gaslighting when Katie never responded to his... Wait, I'm having a hard time reading this. Gaslighting when to him, Katie never responds to his feelings. I don't quite understand that. So Sarah says, yes, even if they believe it, it can still be gaslighting. I mean, not to say it's not wrong, but if they believe it, you would think it's their own sort of, I don't know what the term would be if you believe the wrong thing for your own self-preservation. Greg, you definitely were the first to get this on your channel. You said Greg, but you mean Dave, right? You call me Greg? Trying to get through the comments. Stephanie says, been doing research on gaslighting. A lot of it is saying it's intentional, but I don't know what that means. Well, it's a good question, right? Because it's like, if someone commits manslaughter, or if say someone murders someone, right? If you can prove that it was intentional, like they plotted in advance, that, I don't know, doubles the amount of time in prison or whatever. They premeditated is way worse, because it's like, I planned this, I thought about it, versus like a crime of passion or whatever, which is still bad. It's still a crime, but there's different levels. So you'd have to think to gaslighting, there'd have to be different levels between someone who so sinisterly is like, you weren't, lying to somebody to make them misremember thing. Tina says, I don't think he was gaslighting. He was hurt and upset that she didn't reciprocate his feelings, and he was fighting for her to fight for him. She didn't make him feel she wanted him. I want you to want me. I want you to want me. I want you to want me. I need... Okay. All right, it's really late here on the West Coast time. Looks like we have banned. Is Travis banned? I'm going to unban Travis. I think I might have accidentally banned you. I think that might have been an accident. If you meant to ban him, you can re-ban him, but I think that was an accident. I'm sorry. I think Greg, so Stephanie says, agree, Dave. I think Greg overreacted. I don't think he was deliberately abusing her. Plum's mom says, I don't like Greg from the beginning because he reminded me of my ex. It looks like him. He is a narcissist and gaslit to the point I ended up thinking I needed a psychiatrist. Well, I'm sorry you went through all that. But you're saying your ex did that, and you're saying Greg reminds him because they look alike. You're not saying Greg went that far, right? Christine says, OMG, I just called Dave Greg. LOL, see, I'm deaf tired. I totally understand. No worries whatsoever. Susan says, gaslighting can happen when someone is protecting himself or herself from accepting something they don't want to hear. It is usually subconscious, not intentional. Interesting that it's subconscious. All right, let's go to a voicemail here. Let's see if this is about gaslighting. I think it is.
Ready to rise. So I kind of went through this last summer. You all know I had to get a restraining order against this guy. And he's doing that. He would always try and make me see his point of view, even though I didn't agree with it. And it was just verbal abuse after verbal abuse. He even tried to commit suicide. Don't know how serious he was. I even had to call the cops. Then he's like, "Oh, so now you're going to call the cops on me now that I did this?" It was just torment after torment. And even when I was applying for the restraining order, he even tried to get my work to fire me. So I had to add that into my letters. But yeah, I went through that last summer. I had to get a new phone number. I blocked him on everything. I had to get a new Instagram because he kept track from there. Even though when I was changing my usernames, he still kept track of me. So yeah, I went through that, and it changed my life, but it was hell. So yeah, that's my take on it. Bye, guys.
Well, thank you so much, Sarai, for calling in, and we are sorry you went through that, but I do appreciate you sharing all of your, all of that you've gone through. And I think part of what's great with The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, the franchise, is that we learn about these topics. We learn about things that others might have gone through, and how we can all sort of talk about it with each other and cope. And Katie, as I said before, I'll end it here on the Katie topic, just posted about gaslighting. So for sure there'll be some commotion that comes from this. Posted it late at night. Who knows how long she'll keep this up. But, good for her to share the information. She's not putting Greg's head on a spike. She's sharing the information. And it's up for us to decide what we see. My hope, at the very least for Greg, is that he learns that he's flawed, like the rest of us are, and seeks help from that, and that he can, learn from, whatever his mistakes are, whatever coping mechanisms. A part of it's just coping mechanisms, right? We're all trying to survive. So his dad dies. Maybe he grew up with whatever other trauma or issues he had, and it's not healthy. It's collateral damage to others, but that's the way he survived, and it's about nipping that in the bud. Right? It's about nipping the wrong behavior so you stop that, so you can meet somebody who, because you would never want to fall for somebody and then give them all this toxic behavior of yours. You want to bring the best version of yourself to others. And if you're not there yet, it's like, keep their relationships away. Work on yourself. Come back when you're ready, and maybe you'll meet somebody who can value you at face value. I don't think anyone in the future that dates Greg is going to watch this season and think he's the worst guy in the world. They're going to see a guy who's just struggling. And unfortunately, Katie's had to deal with that struggle. Well, that's the update from Katie, and that's the update of this clip. All right, folks. Well, I just, let's see there. I'm at the 2 hours and 47 minute mark. That's when I'm going to have to go find that clip first thing in the morning. I think that's going to be it from me. Let's wrap this puppy up. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Oh, we got Susan again. Let's hear from Susan while I chug this final
Hey,
drink.
Dave, it's Susan again. Sorry, Susan from Washington. I want to say something about the gaslighting. I can see what Greg did is gaslighting in terms of, and when you think about Katie's face, she's like, what? Disbelief? Like, he's almost like pretending he did not know, that pretending is like the trying.
Oh, I lost you. Sorry.
Deny what she had already tried to tell him, that she had kind of confirmed for him that he was in it to the end for her. So I can see where his pretending like he didn't know that or understand that would come across, could be gaslighting. I don't think it's intentional. I think he was feeling threatened. If he was feeling distancing or worried about relationships with other people, if he couldn't get what he really felt like he needed, his subconscious could be taking over to protect himself. Sometimes people will try to break up with someone before somebody else can break up with them. Not that that's what he was expecting. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble. But I'm also thinking, that 4 hour at your 40,000 is not going to be any problem. Anyway, have a good night. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Bye.
Oh, thank you so much, Susan. Bye. You're right. 4 hours will be a breeze for us. We're at 2:45 here. So all these is Cora still in the chat room? So I accidentally banned her from moderating. Cora, I am so sorry. I know it's late, so she might not be around anymore. The only way I know how to add a moderator. What the hell did I just do? Oh my gosh, did I just do that? What the heck? Did you guys see that? Oh boy, I'm losing my mind. I accidentally shrunk myself right there. Honey, I shrunk the Dave right there. Is it cold out there or is Dave shrunken? A little bit of both. Loved by You says we're still on. So anyway, where is Cora? I'll definitely know how to unban her after, but let's make sure Cora knows. Mini Dave. It's me, Mini Dave. Can you imagine? What a weird world. Sarah says she's trying. It won't let her comment. Oh, that's horrible. I feel so bad. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to figure out how to do this right now on the fly, but I got to get out of here in a second. So let's see if there's any more voicemails. There is a way for me to get to the unbanned list, Cora, so I'm going to try to go access that right now. But as I've mentioned before, sometimes it can be very... oh, by the way, we just hit 37,606 subscribers. We had 37,606. I think we can get to 38,000 in the next couple days, maybe by Friday, right? We can get to 38,000 by Friday. So anyway, I'm gonna unban Cora right now. It's just gonna take a minute here. I had no idea I banned Cora. Can you imagine that? Geez, Cora's been so nice. Oh, look at that. I've got the moderators and then hidden users. I've got all these hidden users I'm looking at, and there's Cora. All right, Cora, I've removed you from the hidden users. But as far as adding you, let me know if you can now comment, Cora. My apologies to you. Let's see though if I can get Cora to comment. If I can make her, because all I do is I use my two fingers and I scroll through everyone's comments all the time, and I'm gonna give her. So I have to go into the YouTube chat, and then from there I can access the information that will get me the chance to add Cora back. So if Cora could respond, that would be fantastic. Cora, you must be so offended. You're like, why would Dave do this to me? You know what I mean? Cora, was that me just gaslighting you? Did I just gaslight you right there? I do apologize. Is Cora back? Is she back? Let's hold on a second. Cora, oh wait, you still are unbanned. All right, I just unbanned you. It's fine. I'm cooler for being 86th. Well, you were kind of 86th unintentionally there, but you are valued in our community here. And could you imagine if I accidentally blocked someone and they just got mad at me and never figured out that it was a complete accident? How sad would that be? Let's see. How do I make? I'm trying to make a moderator here. I want to make sure I don't make the wrong person a moderator here. All right, Cora, I have added you as a moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on, everyone. We have some important information to get through right now. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, Cora is now a moderator. Thank you so much for that, Cora. All right, guys, we should end on that note. We should end on this positive note here. I mean, if we just stay live for 24 hours, we'll just have nonstop stories coming up. OP Davis, well, I didn't mean to block you, Cora. It's not a big deal. Shanti says, coming from a family psychiatrist and listening to them all discuss the show, the general consensus here is that Katie wanted to sleep with all of the men and got angry. The general consensus from who? Whose consensus is that? GJ says, is Abby okay? Are you in touch? You know what? I need to reach out to Abby. We have not heard much from Abby. The truth, Abby. So I'm going to have to reach out to her. I kind of like, with this channel, I kind of let people come to me, and it's hard to keep track of everybody, but we do love Abby. And let me do this. Message. I'm going to write this. Message Abby T. We want to hear from Abby. There's a few people out there we haven't heard from in a while. Look at that. Yeah. Nicole says, Tiny Dave banning friends and breaking news. How bizarre. How bizarre. Da 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 da. How bizarre. How bizarre. All right. You guys have been fantastic. You make it hard to look away. Oh, well, that's so kind. You guys are nice. It's just YouTube techie stuff. I don't mind. Well, it's really, if you could just see what I'm doing here, I'm just, I blame the fingers. That's what got me into this mess. Flick the like button with those banning fingers, will you? All right, let's play a little song and get out of here, guys. You guys have been fantastic. You guys have all been fantastic.
I've been through heartaches, I've been to heaven. I've done my best and my worst, learned my lessons. No matter how
Thank you, Cora. Thank you.
me, I'd always get right back up, never worry. 'Cause I got
if these live chats, and you guys have been fantastic, but if these live chats were the fact we still have 282 people in the chat room, did people just fall asleep? Is that what they're doing? Do me a favor, hit the like button on the way out. 203 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. That's a good ratio. 100 to 1. Sarai says Chumbawamba song stuck in her head. I get knocked down. That's a good song. That is a good. I pulled my neck out dancing. That's I get knocked down. Annie, he's pursuing some other opportunities, so we love Oz. Cora sent a $5 super chat. Keep the jar of tits. Thank you so much for that. What if I banned you for that? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Look at that. You sent a super chat after I diss you like that. How could you? How the grace that Cora has. We appreciate you there. All right. Trying to see if there's any other comments. Yes. Sunshine says need to find my playlist. I get it from Epidemic Sounds. It's just right here. It's a site I pay for though. The songs are license free. So I'm able to I pay like $15 a month. But the thing is, I love the free account, so I really pay $45 a month. But it gives me unlicensed music. Did I start the music to do a eulogy? I'll do a separate eulogy. No, I'm not going to do a eulogy for Greg. Maybe we'll have to see. I didn't do any eulogies this season. Thank you everyone for all the. This was a good one, guys. This song is by Catnip, featuring Emmy, E-M-M-I. I don't know how that works because it's unlicensed, so sometimes they're like fake creator names. I'm talking so much I can barely get through one drink. The song is called Feel the Energy. Right here. You can choose the type of music you want. Hopeful, busy, frantic, electronic. Oh, look at that stage. 3.76 hour live stream for 37,000. I mean, at this point, do we go to 4 hours? Or I'm sorry, 3 hours? Nah, maybe not. Yes, Sarah. Good chat by everyone. Everyone really built their heads up and shared a lot of grace in this chat. I really appreciate everyone for that. I should have Epidemic Sounds as a sponsor. The fact I pay for this, I mean, I have enough people that ask me about it. Stephanie says, Bachelor practically ripped off your eulogy tonight. Yeah, I know they absolutely did. You know, of course they watch my content. Someone who's in the producer room is watching my content. I know that because people in Bachelor, guys, I'll tell you this right now. People in Bachelor Nation have tried to hire me. Okay? Not going to give any details, maybe on the Patreon, but it's humbling. I thank them, but I'm not going anywhere, folks. This is where we're at, okay? So don't expect me to be going over anywhere else. Now, if like E! News wanted to hire me as a consultant once a week, fine, but it's not going to slow down what we're doing over here. They're going to have to buy me a town car and drive me to the set if they want me. Okay, folks? That's how they're going to have to do it. Mike says this is good breakup music. It's motivation and uplifting. We should get a gaslight playlist. So when you're getting gaslit, you just play this playlist or something. It's done, folks. Thank you guys so much. Y'all have been fantastic. That's going to be it for me. Have a good evening. I appreciate all of you. Do me a favor. When you catch my content in the morning, give it a like, give it a comment. You know, subscribe if you haven't already. I think most people here are subscribed. And you know, I like I always say, I appreciate you guys so much. The live stream would never exist if I didn't have the commenters, the voicemails. Let's just do one last look to see if there's any more voicemails. No, it looks like we're good, guys. That's going to be it from me. If you have any new voicemail thoughts, you can call the voicemail number. I think I'll be making a video tomorrow. I told the recap that I'll be airing in the morning that I'm going to make a dedicated voicemail video because so many people have so much they want to talk about. And I believe we're the only Bachelor channel that takes your voicemails. I think it's important to hear all of your comments. I think that's more valuable than a Facebook comment section where people get stuck in groupthink, where, you know, I like to hear the tone of your voice. I like the pleasantries of it. And I think the voicemails are a way to maintain civility, especially with tough topics like this. Stephanie, Cora, Sunshine, Sarah, Christine, everyone else that's out there, Annie, thank you guys so much for really making this a good night. I can go pop a little edible, get a good sleep, and wake up in the morning and make y'all some more content. So again, thank you all so much. Good night. Top 5 live stream, guys. East Coast, hanging in there.